Let's do it.
Copy that. Dive in.
All right. Well, you're listening to Going Again.
You got no like crazy intro music?
Nope.
Not yet.
No, we got nothing.
You should get some explosions.
We
have an explosion.
We actually have an explosion right off the top.
Okay, perfect.
So, and then it leads us into this. And today, the man's our guest, Adam Winnick. Yeah, man.
Thanks for having me. There's cameras.
Absolutely.
Just the one. Okay.
Yeah, that's yours.
We can only afford
In a couple of years, will be
one camera per person.
Absolutely. Yeah, we're going to have a nice wide shot. We're going to probably get a dolly.
Yeah.
Maybe a crane somewhere.
A little fisheye.
Yeah, fisheye.
Yeah, for those who are smoking pot at home.
Yeah.
Very good.
Wicked.
Absolutely. Well, right on, man. Well, why don't we start here? Just introduce kind of who you are. I mean, you've got like a million things.
Yeah, a million things. Yeah, well, I do a million things because I think I tend to like, my goal, I remember like in high school, was to never sit at a desk. I can't sit at a desk. And while I'm sitting, now I'm sitting at a bigger desk. But at least I'm sitting with you two, right? Yeah. I worked with you guys on MOK, and I've known you guys throughout the years in the movie industry, and that's how we know each other. I've been an armorer in the movie industry for so many years and doing stunt work. Most of my sort of career has been in the military for the last 18 years now, as well as skydiving instructor. And so
wow,
that's right.
Yeah, man.
I see that on your.
Well, skydiving yesterday. Today I'm on a podcast. So
what are you doing most?
It changes throughout the years. I mean, like right after Afghanistan, when I got back from Afghanistan in 2000. And when was it, 9? I was really busy with the military, doing a lot of courses and doing a lot of exercises and sort of building up my career through that. Then the last couple of years was very busy with the movie industry, and then back with the Army, and then my summers are crazy busy with skydiving. And now I'm potentially like working on some other things in the future to keep me busy. So
stellar.
Yeah.
Stellar.
Next chapter and all that.
Well, I see you skydiving all the time, and every once
you
in
guys
a
have
while,
to go. You know, it should be part of your podcast. Maybe
I do.
Get some videos going.
I want to go.
Yeah, Randy's got to go.
Yeah, I want to
You
go.
guys are stuntmen. Look at all these stunts around the wall. Like camera guy.
No, my mother went skydiving. Like she's done it.
Yeah, but do it a family affair.
Family thing.
Sure. Okay.
Yeah, we could. I'd be in. I'm in.
Yeah, bring the wives, bring the kids, bring everyone.
Yeah,
I might
like
do a
to.
whole family event.
I'll make
I'd
up
like
an
to.
excuse.
I sort of made the pitch to Mandy and the girls.
Yeah,
and I think the
it's
girls
slower.
are more likely to perhaps do it than Mandy. But
That's fine. That at least get them started.
Yeah.
You know, plant that seed and then
I think Mandy, when she
show a
sees me
video
do
or
it,
two.
yeah.
There you go.
Oh yeah, and she's all in. I think.
Blair just sold his gear.
Really, he's done.
Yeah.
Oh,
Well, for now,
man.
anyway. He's been busy doing other stuff.
Yeah, guys retire. I mean, some guys get spooked, just like in anything.
Like
And
as in
it
the fear
happens.
sets in. Is that what you mean?
Either the fear sets in, or maybe they get too scared of complacency, or some like a good friend got hurt. Just this past week, a really like high influential, very experienced skydiver passed away in Ottawa. And it goes through the community like that, just like us, like someone dying in the stunt world.
Doing a gag.
Yeah.
So your friend died skydiving?
Yeah, I didn't know him well. I knew him through the community, but he's very experienced and like a lot of the times people getting hurt nowadays because the equipment now is just stellar. It's people pushing the limits and sometimes taking it a little too far, and so. It could be complacency. It could be things like that. It could be maybe the wrong input on 1 second, and in that world, a second is such a huge timing. But if you take that sport very like respecting the equipment, the weather, your skill level, not progressing high enough, it's super safe. Like,
But when you do something for so damn long, and it's like a habit,
oh yeah,
or I mean, you could skip a beat, right? I
Sure.
mean,
That's the
Absolutely.
complacency thing.
yeah,
That's
that's the
complacency,
complacency. Yeah.
Well, Blair was just busy. He's producing and doing other stuff, so he gave it up. And
Yeah.
he may
Yeah.
He may go back.
Yeah.
You know
it's-
Blair
I do know Blair.
Yeah. Fellow stunt guy, my cousin,
Yeah.
Randy's nephew.
I mean, just like in anything, it could be like riding a motorcycle, or it's just
Sure.
that adrenaline hit that you need.
Oh, yeah.
I always tell people when I take people skydiving, it's when I like attach them, throw them out. It's like, some guys. I always introduce
when he
myself.
attaches them and throws them out.
I always attach.
Yeah.
I always introduce myself. Hey, I'm Adam. I'm your instructor. I'm gonna be throwing you out of an airplane. They're like, oh yeah, I guess so. You're right.
Except I'm going with you.
Yeah. But like it's pure adrenaline, right? Some guys smoke it, others stick it in their veins. All we do is jump and like.
Well, I see you on your Instagram, and you're like, you have to be the most fun. I mean, you must light these people up before they go.
You have to, yeah.
Because they're freaking out.
Yeah.
They're
Well, you
nervous
get
as hell.
freak out. You get people that are super calm. I've seen probably every human emotion known to man. Like I've seen it all. Guys that are really pumped up and like, yeah, let's do this, and then the second the door opens, like, oh my god, no, I can't do this.
Really?
Or people that are freaking out on the ground and then they're super calm in the sky.
Yeah.
So like you don't know who that person is until that second you get out of the aircraft, and then are they going to do everything you told them to do? Are they going to enjoy this? Are they going to freak out? Like just the other day, someone they're like, oh, is it scary? I'm just going to close my eyes. I go, why are you closing your eyes? You're paying for this experience.
Crazy.
This 60-second free fall experience. Hundreds of dollars. Open your eyes. Like soak it all in, because you're not going to do it again. Like either, they do it once and they're like, yep, check mark.
Right.
I did that crazy thing. Or they're like, that was amazing. I want to do it again. But I always get two reactions from it. It's like, that was the best feeling in the world. I want to do it again. Or that was the best feeling in the world. I never want to do it again.
And this particular person who wanted to close their eyes, how did it turn out?
They loved it.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Okay.
But even I remember I was looking through the photos. She did close her eyes for half a second the second we left. But that moment is always the best time to look out.
How long are you in the air?
In free fall, if you're doing tandem, free fall is about 60 seconds average time. And if the parachute doesn't work, it's about 2 minutes. No.
Jesus.
I was even happy going.
I was sitting here like, what do you mean it doesn't work?
No,
It's the only thing we have.
It is the only thing, yeah. But and then under parachute, it's like 5 minutes, just cruising around. Like yesterday,
Oh, I see. Cool.
we had some like beautiful clouds. We just carved some clouds, and people get just a crazy experience. out of
Man,
that.
that's cool.
Yeah, it's fun. It's fun taking people for the first time, yeah, because you get a totally different. Well, it's like you jumping for your first time every time, because they're experience like they're coming in for that one shot, and I'm doing this daily.
Right.
Like
Daily, and also how many times a day?
Like an average, like if it's a good busy day, like 10. The busiest day I've had was 17, 18 jumps.
Wow.
And how
it's
often
tiring.
do you go throughout the whole year? Or-
No, just the winter, just summer months.
Yeah,
I've taken people skydiving in the winter. It sucks. It's not fun.
It's just why.
It's too
why
you're wearing way too much clothes.
It's a little chilly.
It's way too chilly.
Yeah, you
Landing
got to
at
grab
sun.
your Arc'teryx just to go out.
Have you ever had anybody that wouldn't go, that you had to abort?
I've had just recently I've had 3 refusals, and I rarely especially if they're an adult, like I'm coercing them and talking them through getting closer to the door until they don't see me grabbing and just tossing them out, because they'll like it in the end. They'll love it. But sometimes you could feel it inside them that they're like, I don't want to skydive. And that's rare. One, just recently, I was taking a 14-year-old girl, and we take minors all the time. They're super excited, but when a minor doesn't want to go, I'm not going to push it. Sure. I'm not going to,
Makes sense.
traumatize a child. So we had a fun plane ride down, and no hard feelings. But if it's an adult, I will embarrass them until and guys are the easiest, because like guys will be like, look behind you, you're jumping with your friends, you don't want to pussy out, you want to jump out of this, but yeah, I'm not doing this.
That's true.
Yeah, it usually snaps them out of this, but and then another time, this guy was absolutely massive. It was the end of the year. It was like late November, freezing cold. He stuck one foot out. He goes, I don't want to do this. And I was like so tired throughout the year. I'm like, okay, great. Just threw it back in, closed the door, and went back to sleep.
Now, is there a weight
Amazing.
restriction?
There is. Typically, it's around 250 pounds. My max I've taken was 295. I'll never forget that ride, but I will
Wow.
never do that again.
And why? What
You
happened?
weren't in the air for 5 minutes.
No, I call them, we make fun. We say like, yeah, we're just meat missiles. Like yesterday I took a 250 and that's up at my max. I've taken 280s, 260, and that's fine. If someone's like a football player type dude, that's great and really flexible to do the position, that's fine. But we usually cap it at like 240, 250. But you turn like the more weight you have, you turn into a meat missile. Like you're feeling the sound barrier come across you in free fall. But what it does is like the parachute itself has a weight restriction. So you don't want to max it and you don't want to get close to that max because then you're just pushing. It's just like rigging, right? You're not going
Yeah.
to put
Why would you want to do that?
the maximum stuff on it.
Are there different ratings for different parachutes? Like, do they come in different sizes?
Yeah, totally. It's just like the car industry. There's different models. For tandem, it's very big because we're taking 2 people. But once you become like a certified skydiver and progress, you could start. You start on your Honda Civic, and then maybe you go to Camaro, and then now I want a Ferrari.
Oh, wow. That's
So
great.
you sort of build to that, and then there's so many different disciplines in skydiving, from guys jumping together on their belly to jumping on their heads to guys wingsuiting. A lot of guys even
Wingsuiting shit is amazing.
it's
Wow.
crazy. I've done it once or twice out of an airplane. It's just another discipline that I can't get into. It's like too much.
Really?
It's like
yeah. Do you base
don't
jump?
have time for them.
Yeah,
I've
see,
done
that's skydiving for me.
yeah.
Yeah.
No way.
Yeah, but see, tandem, you're attached to someone. You get the full experience without any of the responsibility.
Okay.
Because it takes me 5 minutes to. Randy, I took a 7-year-old. You could do it.
That's the
Totally.
embarrassing part.
Yeah. Do you do anything like that? Base jump or do you even do it recreationally anymore since you have to take people constantly?
You know what? The last couple of years has been like you work all day and then it's like, oh, you want to do a fun, we call it fun jump, because you're not working, you're just jumping with your buddies. And it's just the last couple of years I've been really bad at this because I've just been so tired. And at the place I worked at Skydive Ontario, I've been there for like 5 years. My buddy Jeff owns it. Awesome dude. I always take the bigger dudes because like the other instructors are like, no, I'm done taking heavy guys. And I usually feel bad because they come in a group and there's one guy can't skydive because he's just like above the limit, and I just like, okay, let's do this, and I'll take them, and they have a better experience. But like after like a full day of that, like I'm like beat, like your body
Really,
is
eh?
destroyed. Yeah,
Yeah, you get
It's
kinda
take
wiped out
after-
doing
yeah.
it.
Yeah. But also like years in the army and like just destroying your body. I gotta now like, it's like you can't do everything you did like in your 20s where you just like got up and did it. It's like now I gotta schedule in some stretching and before. I gotta stretch it.
Oh,
I
yeah.
gotta do some stretching after. I gotta drink some electrolytes. I gotta like
Oh hell
make
yeah.
sure I have enough water. Like it's
Not
crazy.
unlike the stunt business.
Yeah, no. No, it's similar.
Similar, exactly. Yeah.
Young guys jump up. I tell
Oh,
them,
yeah.
don't jump up so
Yeah.
fast. What's the producer paying for?
Exactly.
Pretend
Yeah.
you're hurt.
I even see that with
Yeah.
younger instructors in skydiving or younger leaders in the army. It's like, oh, relax. Like you're gonna break yourself, or if they're eager enough to take multiple. It's like, okay, I'll sit this one out because you do it all, but you want a break now. You want to
Oh yeah.
breathe and
No doubt.
enjoy yourself a little bit more.
Did you learn to skydive in the army, or was it
No,
something
so
you did?
it's something I did. I tried it when I was 18 with a bunch of friends. I remember I signed up 15 people to go because everyone like you're at the bar. You're like, do you want to go skydiving? It's like, yeah, absolutely, let's do it. I'm like, great, signed up people, and it's like, okay, we're going next weekend. I got this, I got that. I can't do this. I can't. Excuses out the window, and only 3 friends showed up. We did a whole course. Jumped out of airplane. I remember half my butt was in the airplane, half my butt was outside at 3,000 feet. And I just got hooked. And then I did it 6 times, I remember, and I couldn't afford it because I was 18. And it was like tough time to drive up there and all that. But then right after I got back from Afghanistan, my deployment out there, I had all this, I had some money to burn. I wanted to get into skydiving. I said, I'll just take the summer, get my license, and see if like this is for me. And then got my license, and then I kept going. Then I got then as I progressed throughout the military, then I became a paratrooper in the military, but didn't really totally different. It's different than skydiving because there I'm falling out, out of a giant plane with 40, 50, 400 other guys out in the battlefield, carrying multiple pounds of gear or weapon or snowshoes in the winter.
It's like tandem with a guy who's
that's a cakewalk
with everything he's wearing, but you've left him behind.
Yeah.
No, I don't know.
Cakewalk. Yeah, totally different.
Interesting.
But it's also weaved in because a couple years later, I tried out for the parachute demo team that the Army has called the Skyhawks, and tried out and got on. And I used my sort of civilian qualifications to get on that because it's all like demonstrations and air shows. So you're not really doing like military style jumping. You're doing more entertainment jumping to represent. You represent like sort of like an elite sort of like skydiving unit, and that we do like harder tricks.
That's badass.
Yeah, it's badass. It's fun. It was fun.
Does the Army have more than one of those teams?
No, just we're the Canadian Army. We're very small. We have a very small team. On my year, we only had 13 guys. In the States, a lot of different Army units have the similar teams. But here in Canada, we just have the one team, which is it's almost 50 years old, that team from the 1971.
Did you ever jump at the North Bay Air Show?
North Bay Air Show.
Maybe 3 or 4 or 5 years ago?
Maybe.
Just
I was on
ask.
the team at 2011. North Bay doesn't remember, but I did so many air shows that I can't even remember.
Oh, that's very cool.
Yeah. Like we even did one that I think it was like Cohill, Ontario, that we did in front of 20 people.
Oh, wow.
Brought in a huge military aircraft because like they booked the Skyhawks for the weekend, and yeah.
Wow. Interesting. Before we move on,
Yep.
you want a shot of something?
Sure. Why not?
Yeah.
midday. We can
Scotch
do
or whiskey?
Whiskey.
Okay.
Yeah, more of a.
All right. Well, I'm gonna crack this here.
I don't like the peatiness of Scotch.
Copy.
Right.
We weren't sure. We had a bottle of scotch here, but you did say whiskey, and I thought, oh well, let's do that.
That's cool. I've had an opportunity to go skydiving. I've been asked, and I was one of the other that weren't the 3 that went.
Yeah.
I don't know what it is. I don't know what it is. I love to fly, and I love helicopters. I've hung outside them.
See, I hate to fly. I just like getting out of the plane.
Oh, is that right?
Oh my god! Like the second there's a bump or turbulence in the airplane, I am just ready to get out that door. Like, there's too many. It's just to me, it's just a metal box with wings that like.
Well, it's basically what it is.
Yeah, there's too many gauges, too many wires.
To me, it's just a sheet with a bunch of strings.
Yeah. But it's my sheets and strings, and it's
Whoops.
I have
Well,
maybe it's a control aspect of it.
I think that's what it is. Like I don't like carnival rides because I don't like being out of control.
Sure, yeah, I feel that. I was just at Wonderland the other day, and I definitely felt that.
Cheers, fellas.
Cheers. Yeah, thanks for having me on, guys. This is interesting.
Absolutely. Thanks for coming out, man. It's wild.
Experience. Yeah, it's fun.
Yeah, man. All right. Shawnee said something. Our friend Sean Lawrence.
I got to get you some coffees. I think my buddy makes coffee. Zero Dark Coffee. I always rep it here.
Yeah.
I'll try to bring some for you guys next time.
Cool.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I wouldn't mind some
Good
coffee.
stuff. Yeah, there you go.
Sean had mentioned something about, correct me if I'm wrong, but about not being able to shoot at a paratrooper on the battlefield.
Yeah, so there are
Geneva
these like
Convention.
there are these like Geneva Conventions and like international laws of what you cannot do. There is written down where like you have to give the opportunity of the paratrooper to come down to that when he hits the ground, then you could fight him because he's unarmed and defenseless as he's flying through the air. But you think
I don't know why that seems like a contradictory,
I'm with
a
you.
contradicting sort of aspect of fighting. In
There
war.
hasn't-
well, there is always an aspect of fair play in any type of world conflict, but it just is sometimes. A lot of times, sometimes only one side is playing by the rules. So, but
Really?
and you still have to
Okay.
maintain those rules throughout. I mean, like case in point in Afghanistan, like the Taliban aren't fighting force with a uniform out there that we know all their different positions. They're going through the crowds, or they're mingling with the population. They're in and out. They're not wearing the uniform. They're wearing regular clothes. So it's like they're not playing by the rules and doing like really dangerous stuff to civilians and other populations just to cause havoc. That's what makes that type of
Okay.
fighting very difficult. Right?
Well, because you have to play by the rules and they're not.
Yeah, exactly.
So now-
I had a book of rules always in my pocket. It's like sometimes you even have to like you're
Refer
out
to
there.
them.
It's like, okay, this is happening. Like, can I do this, and or there's like a procedure of like
Fuck, what crazy.
you have to do this before you do this before you do this.
Well, I don't think there's a World War II movie out there with paratroopers in it that have not been shot at.
Yeah.
No, yeah,
That's Hollywood. But,
Well, it does seem
so we
kind of
were
weird.
surprised when we found out that the Geneva Convention says
And now, yeah, it should be like don't quote me on the exact. It could be Geneva Convention or some sort of international law, but that is like written down for sure. But I doubt, But it also comes to the fact that most paratrooper units, you have to be. If you're the force and you see paratroopers coming down, you got to be careful because like it's in our doctrine as paratroopers to no matter what our size is, we're gonna wreak some sort of havoc because we forget like what paratroopers are designed to do. Their sole job is to get into the country quicker than anyone else, and primarily to seize like airports and major infrastructure, just so you could start building out from there. So it's like hard, fast, and dirty, and but when you do jump in, you're surrounded by the enemy. So you either you account for like guys getting hurt, and you meet up at your meeting area. You figure out how many guys you have. Can I complete my mission? What can we do to really we want to get this job done? We were sent behind enemy lines. We got to get a job done. So the mentality of paratroopers is a lot more scarier. So I could imagine like if I was the enemy, I'd be scared of guys like jumping out of airplanes too. So I'd try to shoot them down too.
Interesting. Yeah, it feels like something like if you're shooting at a helicopter in the first place, and then a guy jumps out of the helicopter, you kind of like,
Yeah, that guy who jumped out has no fear. So you got to be careful of that guy.
well, true. True. Yeah, man. That sounds freaking nerve wracking.
how old were you when you joined the army?
18. I joined the reserves when I was 18. You're in that high school. I remember like signing yearbooks. You're going to this, you're going to that, and I really realized like after asking people, because I didn't know what the hell I was going to do after high school, and you say like, I'm going into accounting at U of T. Oh, great. Oh, you love numbers? You love math? It's like, no, they make the most money. I'm like, oh, okay. Oh, I want to be a lawyer. Oh, cool. You like legal stuff? It's like, no, they make the most money. And to me, that boggled my mind. It's like, that's not a reason to do it. It's not an adventure. And I did a boot camp when I was 16 in Ukraine.
Oh, wow.
I did like it was through my scouts program, and I really liked the camaraderie that was asked in that. And I figured, I'm Canadian, first generation born here. Might as well give back, have that like sense of adventure, challenge myself.
Hell of a challenge, man.
Yeah, well, yeah, and like just like skydiving, just like anything, is like I like to do stuff like other people don't want to do or don't want to.
Did you always feel like you were risking your life?
Risking my life?
Did it feel like that?
Well, when you were in Afghanistan, I mean,
Yeah, it's weird. Like I think, yeah, you do a lot of I remember we trained for like 12 months before we were going over there, and you're bombarded with like what to expect, and that's fine. You need to experience everything. So when it does happen to you, like what they say, it's like the more you sweat in the training, the less you bleed in the battlefield, and also things that what you're going to expect culturally, even the disasters of warfare. I think the first 2 weeks you're a little bit nervous because you're worried about you hear horror stories of like someone stepping on an IED or stepping on a mine because half that country was mined from when the Russians were over there. But to me, like there was this sort of moment that I haven't shared this often, but there's this moment where I just thought to myself, when I put that gear on in the morning, I'm like, okay, today's my last day. And when I said that to myself, it was just like the easiest day. It's like, got in the truck, we did our thing. If I needed to stick my head in a culvert to check for a bomb, no worries. Because like, if anything, if something goes off, I want to be gone.
So you resolved yourself to the worst moment
Yeah.
before you even set out.
It was super comfortable though. Like right after that, it's like, okay, what do I have to worry about? If that happens, it happens. I'm already here. I'm here to do a job. And I'd rather that happen to me than I would happen to like my crew or like my team, my truck team. I remember like the first time stepping out and like, okay, this is what I'm doing. Like, because I was sent there I was there part of a convoy security team. When I volunteered to go overseas, they just, they fitted me into a platoon that they needed sort of my skills as at the time, I was a machine gunner and more operated outside vehicles than. So my crew stayed in the vehicle. I was the guy that always goes outside the vehicle. Like whenever we stopped or if we got hit by a bomb or prep for this, prep for that, I'd get out. And the only time I was like really nervous is the first time like checking something and clearing it and then letting my buddies pass it, because that would like absolutely kill me if like I said it's A-okay and then I like my buddies got hurt on that. So it's more comfortable me doing things. And you know, I think in any type of war and your, you know, or deployment, the sort of the common denominator and all that is really not the whole mission in itself too. It's like taking care of your buddies. It's the guy beside you. You don't want that other person get hurt. He's protecting you. Your team's protecting the convoy. The convoy's protecting the whole, supplying the base. So by you just protecting your dudes, you're doing so much in the grand scheme of things too. So if you take it down into what you're actually doing as a soldier, it makes it a lot easier. So I think to me, it's like I'm here at war. I'm designed to be, you know, a protector, a fighter. So it's like, why be scared of something coming at you?
I imagine that if something brutal happens to a teammate or a member or whatever, that it must do something to the old psyche there for a second.
Oh, for sure, because like you don't want any of your buddies to suffer or
right.
Yeah, and thankfully, like no one got really hurt in my platoon over there, but I knew some friends that got hurt, and that sucks. But it's also expected; it's part of the job. I mean, it's in my job description as I joined the infantry. Your job is to destroy. So if your job is infantry or rifleman to destroy something, to destroy the enemy, you have to expect that the enemy's trying to destroy you, right? So you have to take that into respect. You have to respect that side of their fighting too. And once you understand that, you're gonna get more comfortable. You know, you want to be less. You want the enemy to be more fearful of you than you of the enemy, because there's no way you're gonna, you know, surpass them doing what they do.
I'm sorry, I'm just trying to think of a joke, and you just can't.
Yeah. There's no joke in here.
Oh, it's
But
No, see, I play guns for a living. You know, 40 years as a stunt guy, just enjoying my life. But I'm talking to a young man that's gone through this. It's crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's weird too. I remember, and I don't think I've done much as a veteran, but I've done a little, you know, stroke of the paint in the big picture of, you know, especially the Afghanistan deployment, my time in the Army. But like my unit has been fighting for Canada since beginning of Canada. So like I've talked to veterans from World War I, World War II. I remember sitting down in France and a vet, Jack Hadley, he stormed the beaches of Normandy. And we're drinking together in France, celebrating him and his brother and what they did over there. And he's like, "You're crazy, man, for going to Afghanistan." I go, "What? You stormed a beach full of Germans
that they've made movies about.
that fought for years over there." And I did a couple
paratroopers.
months. Yeah, that's like it's insane. And like that weird sort of respect back and forth. But I couldn't take what he was doing. But maybe it was different in his time. Like it's crazy to hear all these stories that you don't hear about even in the movies that are part of our history too. But they've done more wild stuff than I have, and they think, and they were my age, they're even younger. I was 21 when I was over there, and they were 19, 18.
Well, what is that they're thinking when they say that stuff to you? What do you think?
I think it's just an experience thing that your experience is different than mine. I did a show once where I had to jump through a window playing a cop because the bad guys found out we were cops. And the guy put a newsie in my mouth and I jumped out through the window. At lunch, the two cops that actually did this, the one guy says to me, he says, "You stunt guys are so brave, man."
Yeah.
I said, "Let's put a little perspective on this, brother. You did it in life."
Yeah. I remember Jack telling me that night, he goes, he goes, I go, "Jack, you're fighting Germans." He goes, "Yeah, at least I knew they were German. They were wearing a different uniform than me."
That's true.
Yeah. So, and that was, to him, that was easier. And to me, that's just crazy. Like,
Wow.
That's interesting, though.
It's a totally different sort of...
He was fighting
completely
a war
different
where
perspective.
different war, yeah, different war.
but both sides were probably playing by the rules to some degree.
To some degree, for sure. Absolutely. Yeah.
Interesting.
Wow.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah, I'm speechless.
Well, okay. So now, was it night and day when you started? Like when you were deployed,
Yeah.
was it literally like, well, we were in Canada and now we're in a desert, or what happened there?
You do feel comfortable like training for what you do, but until you it's like practice, playing baseball and then playing an actual game, right? And that's one of the things that sort of propelled me, and even my buddies that we all like signed up together to go overseas to get that experience, because you look at the older vets and it's like, okay, they've shown what they've done in training in the real world. I want to see that too. But it was a night and day, because once you're out there, it's like a different planet. Like that whole country is like the moon. It's super hot, cold in the summers, or cold at night, even in the summers, boiling hot during the days. You're forced drinking water like crazy, just so you don't get dehydrated and get heat stroke. So there's like different like living aspects out there, but in a weird way, it was super comfortable, because like there's no 9 to 5, no Monday to Fridays. I didn't even know it was my birthday until I checked my email that night and I go, "Oh guys, it's my birthday." And
Wow.
they're like, "Oh cool, let's celebrate tomorrow, because we got to wake up at 5 a.m. tomorrow."
Oh my God.
So that aspect was kind of nice.
So you're on 7 days a week?
No, like we had two different teams, so we just traded one day on, one day off. So we get a break and then go on, because you'd be on the road for 8 to 12 to 14 hours. Some positions we had to resupply were so far away that we had to spend the night out there, because we had a mandate at that time to not drive at night, because it's just easier if we do get into a fight to fight during the day.
Sure.
Yeah.
Wow.
Right on.
A thought that comes to me: you had lost friends there.
No, I've had I knew a lot of people that have died over there, but my close friends, I know some guys that got hurt, that got hit by some roadside bombs and different attacks, but they survived. So no one like super close to me, but
A friend of
close to it.
mine painted the portraits of honor, Dave Sofa.
Oh, wow.
God bless him, he passed away. But have you ever seen the painting?
No.
At the end of this, I'll show you the painting. He did.
Yeah, it's amazing.
All the young people who were killed in Afghanistan. He put them on a painting, and the painting's massive. And he painted a poppy on the painting for every Canadian soldier who's ever passed away in a conflict.
Oh wow!
Since Canada started.
Very interesting.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
Wow, that's a lot.
I'll show you.
Yeah, it's a hell of a painting.
Yeah, it's amazing though too. It's like being in the Army for so many years, and then hearing like older guys that came before me that are retired, or the stories of like I'm so proud of my regiment and what they've done for 164 years now. And just to be wearing the same uniform and wearing the same cap badges as the guys that fought in World War I and World War II and Korea, the Boer War. There's some like badass like stories, badass heroes, and we don't hear that enough. Like we hear a lot of like the American stuff, and
Sure.
hopefully in the future, I'd always love to like produce or even help make something like a Band of Brothers, but like Canadian, because I think we have way cooler content.
Well, you can
than
do
the
that,
Americans.
but you know your budget is shit.
Yeah,
So-
my budget's shit right now, but we'll see what happens in the future. When I need I'll get Randy as my stunt coordinator when we get
There you
there.
Yeah, you know what? You know who I'm gonna get as the gun wrangler?
Yeah.
This guy
Well, we'll get
right
Charlie.
here.
We'll get
This
Charlie. I might be. I'll move up to another bit. But yeah. All right. We'll definitely need proper blank fire guns for that type of production. But that's pipe dream right now.
Just like Mayor of Kingstown.
Yeah.
Look what we did.
Yeah, man.
Hundreds of guns, tens of thousands
Tens
of
of
blanks,
thousands of blanks.
and not a single issue.
No, that's
Not a
right.
single issue. Now speaking of
Which
that,
brings up,
well, you know, I saw Paul on
Yep.
set the other day, and he happened to mention that since
So I could say who Paul is. Paul is one of the senior armorers at Movie Armaments.
okay,
The largest weapons supplier for movie sets that I work for as well as a on-set armor.
and
Absolutely.
Charlie's coming.
Charlie's coming?
Yeah,
Awesome, yeah.
he's gonna
There you
come
go,
out here.
yeah.
and of course,
You might need longer than 3 hours. I'm sure.
yeah, no doubt. There's a lot of opinions on certain things, but Paul had said to me that since the Rust situation happened, and for those who don't know what that is, it was a film produced by Alec Baldwin shooting in New Mexico,
Yeah.
where Alec Baldwin, handling a gun, shot something
Inadvertently.
out of the gun, and which hit the cinematographer and unfortunately killed
Yeah, killed him. Yep.
killed the cinematographer.
And went through her and shot
an incredibly-
wounded the director.
Yeah, we did director,
yeah. And it's incredibly sad, obviously. What a terrible, just everything. Day on set, day for family, day for everybody.
Yeah.
But Paul had mentioned that since that happened, that he has been asked a few times how they are going to make things safer.
Yeah.
I have my opinion that going with you guys, Paul and all you guys,
Yeah.
would be the safe way to go.
Yeah.
That should be the first move on any production, to just go with someone who's safer. Why you're being asked to do things safer when I've worked with you guys a million times, and I mean, without a doubt, the safety is like through the roof.
Sure. Yeah.
I think it's just a lack of experience on the person that asked the question. The person doesn't know guns. They don't know how to.
It is, but what I mean, this is a professional person.
No,
It's such an ignorant question.
Yeah.
I don't know, maybe.
Yeah, well, from what I heard on that set, and of course I wasn't there, but a lot of protocols were broken. And I see it on set here, not to a degree with someone getting hurt, but, you hire all these experts. You hire stunt guys, stunt coordinators, camera guys who are the best in the business. And then you hire gun guys who are running the guns. And there's been so many times on set where everyone's a gun expert except for the gun expert. Like... all the time I'm questioned about why are we doing this? Why are we doing that? I go, it's safe. That's not safe. And it goes both ways where I'm like, there's times where it's like, can we do this? Can we do this shot? I go, yeah, we can do it. We could do it super simple, nice, all the safety. We'll do this, and this. Okay, no, we won't do it. We'll do CGI. I'm like, I'm ready to go. We got blanks. You guys, order me here. We could shoot it. And it's getting to a point where it's like, okay, this is not my show. It's not this, but it's like, why don't you, I'm here to have this service for you. And then you're going to CGI. And then constantly I get the actors complaining because they want to shoot the real thing because they want that feeling. But like, it's, you can't recreate that and, pretend. Like I remember, we did blanks all day long, and then they wanted to switch to gas guns. And I go, why? They're like, oh, it's safer, it'll be quicker. I go, no, it's not. But they don't want to wait that extra 3 minutes of me making it safer on set, checking it. They want to cut this little time off. And then I give the actor a rubber gun, and they're like, what? And they have to pretend like, oh, boom, 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 boom. And then they're going to add it in later.
And the recoil is always phony.
Always phony.
Always. And not only, I mean, there's also, I don't know how many times I've seen a stunt guy actually go, chew, Chew
Yeah.
or pew pew
Yeah.
on set. And, you know, I was on set once where a guy was doing that, and the stunt coordinator literally pops his head out and goes, "You can't do that. Stop going pew pew."
Yeah.
Yeah, they don't put in the sound effect.
Ah,
I'm not going to mention any shows, but there's a show that we worked on for like multiple seasons, doing blank gunfire, no problem. The second something happens in New Mexico, now I'm the issue, and now I have to. Now they're bringing me for like rubber prop guns, and that's fine. They want to be extra safe, but like, how safe do you need it? I made a procedure when I'm on set. Anytime I'm on set with live firearms, it's me and the actor. There's zero middlemen. Not even props are allowed to touch my guns. So when props gives an actor a gun, they know it's fake from the props people. When I give them a gun, they know it's real, and I'm going to tell them why it's real, and then I'm going to tell them why it's safe, and then they're comfortable with it. And then that's it. It ends there. But when you start mixing, matching, giving the actor, and that's fine for an actor not to like know the safety. I would love to. I think every actor needs to do some sort of gun course, because there's so many times I'm on set where I come in and bring a gun to an actor, and they do a take and they look awful. And I go out right after cut. I go like, "What? Can I just ask you, what's your character?" Like, "Oh yeah, my character's been 30 years in the army, or ex special force." I go, "Well, it doesn't look like that, buddy." And they're like, "Really?" I go, "Did the studio, do any training or this?" And they're like, "No, I just
this
audition."
never happens.
Never happens.
This never happens.
MOK was the only time when I actually got to train Hamish properly, and not just like how to make it look good on camera. I took him through training that actually felt more military-like, that he's actually, doing what we actually do out in the real world, and he appreciated that. It looked way better on camera.
100%.
Now, did you watch the show?
Oh, I watched the show. Yeah.
Did you see? You must have seen hiccups.
There's minor hiccups here and there, but it's not the hiccup of, I think, us or the stunt guys or even Hamish.
No.
It's the hiccups of the editing. I think the editing, sometimes they're in the editing bay and they think that looks cooler, or that makes sense, or they add different sounds to things that don't really make sense. It's more their fault. So, we could only do so much at the time of filming.
It's still a movie.
After it's sent, it's still a movie,
Yeah,
and,
it's still
and
a
we don't
movie.
own it. So, you just got to accept it. I remember I did this scene, and this lady did the stupidest move with a gun. Like, it looked so corny, and I just go up to her and I go, what's your character? She goes, "Oh, I've been in the CIA for, however long, 25 years. And I go, "Okay, well, listen, if your character really knows," I go, "Does your character really know how to use guns?" And she goes, "Yeah, absolutely. I'm like one of the best shooters." I go, "Okay, cool. So you're going to do this move next. Like, it's really cool. And I'm just showing it to you. Do you want to use it?" She goes, "Yeah, that looks awesome." So she does it. Director snaps. Who taught you that?" And she goes, points at me. "Adam did." "Who's that Adam?" I go, "Yeah, I'm just the armorer. I gave my opinion. I get it. It's your show." And he yells at me. He's like, "It wouldn't work because of this, that, or this. Like, what do you know?" And trying to one up me. And I don't care. I'm just, the actor asked me a question. I gave the opinion. She used it. And then I just let him yell over me, because there's no fighting a director on set, right? Like, he's gonna go after, and not all directors are held to work with, but others will be listening to you and taking your expertise to heart. But I go on Netflix and I saw the show and I go to the episode. I'm like, "Oh, I know I was out working on an episode," and they use my move to a T and from multiple angles, and it looked better. So.
Whoa, no doubt.
But it's always the expert is never the expert. It's always I give a safe gun, and then someone's questioning me in the back. "How is it safe? Let me know it's safe." I told everyone it's safe. Guys, relax. I am here. I'm not going to make anyone get hurt. This is more my responsibility than anyone else. You're not questioning the camera guy or the crane guy or even the grips guy to make something, attach. You're not checking his bolts. You're not checking lightings. Electrical, or
how they put a sandbag on the stand.
Or they put the sandbag on the stand.
Yeah, absolutely.
Is the generator putting the right power? Is this thing? So it's you gotta let the person do the job. If not, then go to plastic guns and look cheaper and cheaper.
Well, when it comes to rust, one of the primary issues is that the armorer, this young lady, was not even in the room.
Exactly.
The guns were on a table in the room And
Yeah.
it was the first AD that handed that gun over.
Yes.
Now that said, who put the shells in the gun? I mean, the first AD handed the gun to Alec Baldwin. Alec Baldwin put it in his holster. But who put the shells in the gun that put them on the desk? The moment I heard this happen, somebody said it's in New Mexico. Immediately it goes to, oh, it's New Mexico.
Yeah, I mean,
the crew's out plinking at lunch.
they're plinking at lunch. Guys have guns in their vehicles. There's
Sure they
bullets
do.
everywhere, and that's fine. You got to respect that because their gun laws are a little more relaxed down in the States, but that's nevertheless. They had a scene with a gun in there. Why isn't the Armourer there? For someone to take something off someone's table. I remember getting yelled at by I forget who. I moved the table on set and I got just yelled at up and down for moving something that wasn't mine. So how dare someone take a poor, especially a young armor? I think that was their first show.
There's a second
Show, taking it off the table and giving it to an actor, saying it's safe. Of course, the actor is going to feel safe with that. There's multiple times I give an actor, I go, because there's only so many times in the day I have to check that it's clear. I go, listen, buddy, we've been working together for days. I'm giving you a safe gun. He's like, okay, cool, it's safe. I could point at people. I could do my scene, right? But for someone to grab someone else's equipment, give it to an actor, and say it's safe when he's not the expert in it, that's wrong. You can't even almost blame the actor at that point. But that point too, the actor should have been like, okay, whoa, I'm using a gun. Where's the armorer? Not the props person. I want to know what this is. And
at the end of the day, well, I'm sure Alec Baldwin himself has handled a gun or two in his time.
for sure,
Yeah.
Now, having said that, I'm sure if you look back through his list of movies, I'm sure a lot of them are dramas. Maybe he hasn't. I actually don't know, although I am a fan. Was anything about what happened his fault?
I think there's it's weird because I don't want to go too legal, but I think part of it is in anyone doing that job, if you're using that type of equipment, you should be proficient at it. You're not going to give a stunt driver a vehicle he's never driven before, just to do something on the take. And I think actors need to have that extra step of either asking the production to pay for it or getting extra training or doing it on their own. That's one of the reasons why I'm starting up a class just regarding with firearms on movie sets, because I've been training actors so many times and they see other actors, especially background and guys that are just starting off in the business, I want to learn that. It's well, production's not paying me to train you and I got to train this person. Just hold the weapon and hold in the corner. But they want to learn that. And then I started realizing no one's going to get the experience from years of the Army and being on set and knowing how to actually use those firearms. So it's my way of sort of showing what we do on movie sets. Also, I think it's important now with the Alec Baldwin thing coming out is having that safety. I was originally I was thinking of doing it with fake firearms, but I was talking to Charlie and just to sort of bring back that culture of safety. I want to show how the gun is safe. How, if I do see a gun, how do I make it safe? How do I, be comfortable with it? Because now when I do have time to train actors, we start from square one. How do you make this gun safe? Because I'm almost tired to a point where I just give actor a gun. Okay, this has got 30 rounds. You're gonna shoot in this direction, this and that. And it's action, brrr, and then you take it back and they don't do anything. With Hamish it was great. We do blank fire. Go Hamish. Here's a magazine. Load it, ready it, check it. He did everything a regular SWAT guy would do. Does a scene and clears himself. And he has that confidence of doing that. And we don't have to baby it. There's so many actors that you have to baby and make sure they're doing everything safe, or they'll just be I'm done with this. Make it safe for me. And
Not just actors,
yeah,
stunt guys.
Stunt guys
There's a lot
too,
of guys.
yeah. There was a show where they didn't want the actress to fire a gun, but I trained her co-star and I trained her younger, 8-year-old self. The actor was playing her 8-year-old.
Oh, wow.
So she was shooting a cannon, it was an 8mm. It was a huge rifle. Talked to the parents. She was cool. I go, yeah, we could train kids. She's gonna use it, and she had a great day with it. I filmed it, sent it to the director. why aren't we training her in this? And they're like, oh, we don't want to get her hurt. I go, she's not going to get hurt. And then the next day they wanted 2 hours of training. And then, I always show like a confidence too, no matter like if it's a period piece where they're shooting like Western guns, I always take them on like some crazy machine gun just so they could feel that power, feel that like control afterwards, and then say like, oh, that's safe. Like you've been doing this for so many years, especially Charlie. He's been in the business for so many years. It's complacency is what hurts you, and breaking protocols. Like stop breaking protocols. Listen to the people who are the experts in the room. I remember they said like, oh, we can't do the scene, it's unsafe. And I go, whoa, who said it's unsafe? Like they wanted a big gunfight. And they're like, okay, we're going CGI because it's unsafe. I just heard the first AD say that. And I go, hey, who said it was unsafe? I didn't say that. And he goes, oh, well, it's probably unsafe. I look at the scene. I go, no, we've done that like 1,000 times. Yeah, I could do it. Don't tell me that. Then the director wants live gunfire. I go, cool, let's do it, man. Like you're paying for this. Let's light up the sky. Let's do this. Like it could be safe. It's good.
But it seems like there's like a misconception, and especially I imagine, especially in Canada, where people are like afraid of touching a gun. They're just like, there's literally a gun, and they're like, like it's gonna explode in their hands or shoot somebody, and they're gonna be
just
murderers.
the other day I had to bring in a deactivated firearm. Can't be used. It's welded shut, and I put it on the table, make my announcement, guys, it's safe. The only thing that this way could hurt you if I throw it at your face. Like it's sitting on the table all day, and then people coming up to me, he's like, is that gun safe? Is that gun safe? I go, didn't you make an announcement in the morning? There is no live guns anymore. You guys don't want any more live guns anymore, so like we'll just sit back and you guys could pretend. That's fine. That's what you want, to feel safe, but you've been safe for X amount of seasons prior. Like, what's the difference?
I imagine that with, just like the gun thing, where people, especially in our country, are so inexperienced with holding a gun or that they have that fear of it. But I'll bet that if they rode a bicycle to work every day, and you told them the statistics regarding a car, they would probably say the same thing. Well, no one needs a car. You can work up the road, and blah, 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 but because we're all meant to be so familiar with cars and not guns, that's just how we naturally feel about cars. And, when you go down to America and guns almost feel in certain states kind of like a car does here.
Sure, it's definitely more part of the culture, but that's in anything. Like someone could take a car and hurt you. Like anything could be used as a tool of violence, and of course, a gun is a tool for violence. But that is the tool. It's the intention behind that. So we have totally different laws here, and everyone's going to experience that some form of violence, whether it be very small to very extreme, but to be afraid of just the tool aspect, it's going to be there. So why not educate more? And I have turned actors like that hated guns, but their show, like Hollywood loves their guns, and of course they do. Who doesn't love a cool shootout?
Right.
Absolutely. But then you want to cheap out on training. You want to cheap out on safety. You want to cheap out on all this other things. But and then you want to, make a spectacle, how guns are bad, this and that. But you know what? We're going to order 80 of them for our next production. And the actor's going to look so cool. And I've had actors being like, oh, I don't want to do this. And then afterwards they have a better respect for it. They understand it. They're like, cool. Some even bought guns afterwards and.
Yeah.
And
the experience itself.
And then they sort of, okay, I'm not scared of this thing anymore. It's just a tool right there. Now I know what's dangerous about it and how to make it safe. And then from that education, it's much easier for that. I mean, I trained guys in the Army, 16-year-old guys to shoot rifles. Like, I could train an actor to do that. So why don't they do that,
True enough. No, that's important. I did a show a while back. I didn't do the first season, but during the first season, this young actor had 2 blanks in his gun, and he's supposed to go bang, bang, and then put it up underneath as John commit suicide.
Yeah.
Going bang, bang, click. He went bang,
yeah,
bang. So that was a pilot error, and but had he had more training,
for sure. And that type of thing, I've done so many suicide scenes, and they look fantastic. But for that type of scene, you do, okay, you want to do that? We could do that 100% for sure. We're going to do it 50 times. What's that? 50, 100 bullets? Or like not 50 times, but like 20 times.
Sure.
Boom, boom, click. Boom, boom. We'll first start boom, boom, click. Boom, boom, click. Boom, boom, click. Okay, full rehearsal. Boom, boom, click. Boom, boom, click. And then you start rolling, then you got a perfect take. But like when you say, okay, we want this, this, and this. Okay, can you do it? Yeah, I could do it. And then he does it once or twice. Like there's going to be, and not to blame the actor too, because they're worried about their lines. They're worried about their mark. Sure. They're worried about where they're looking at when their camera's like right in their face. Yeah, they can't expect that. But
there's also an argument that I would go to my director and discover whether or not he needs boom, boom, click,
right.
all in the same shot.
All in the same shot, sure. Absolutely.
Because of the fact that you're shooting at someone over there,
yeah.
boom, boom, are we going to cut in the edit to see that?
Yeah.
And if that's a fact, if I go boom, boom, and I see the other side, then this can just be the click. And the gun is not...
It's not loaded.
It's not been with anything for that shot.
Yeah.
So you can separate it.
Yeah, you could separate it. I've even had that argument with camera angles. Like, I want to shoot this guy right in the face. I go, okay, we're not doing that. If we're just tilted 6 inches that way, it's usually a stunt guy that I've seen before. Hey, man, he's going to shoot right beside you. Nothing's going to happen. He's like, cool, let's do it. Do it all day long. And then they see it on camera. Oh, yeah, it looks good.
Totally.
It's like...
let's use our filmic skills sometimes.
Yeah.
And most people are pretty... Obviously, they're safe, but they're also paranoid a little bit.
And they can be, but it's hard too, especially you almost consider like as an armorer daily, because I just pop into sets. Throughout the years, I started knowing some camera guys, a lot more stunt people. They get comfortable with you. Like, there's been a few times where it's like they see me and they're like, oh, okay, you're here. Okay, cool.
No doubt.
Let's go at it.
So their trust level goes wicked high immediately.
Wicked high. But I think that's with the person as well as the company in any sense. But like even in the stunt world, can you imagine like someone getting hurt in Australia and then they're like, okay, you can't do any of that stuff here in Toronto. It's like, well, that had nothing to do with us. Like, and we've done what they did 1,000 times. So why don't you allow us to do it?
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do the laws of Canada affect you at all in film, and with what is perhaps changing today?
Yeah, there's a lot of things changing. Charlie's going to be the perfect person to answer that because I'm representing when I'm on set. I'm using his guns as an expert.
Sure.
And what's cool, when Charlie hired me and all the other guys that work there, we're ex-military, ex-police. Like we use the guns in real life. We're not just a guy with a gun license. We're going to be on set making sure that the guns do everything right. But like these new gun laws, just as a whole in the gun culture, especially in Canada, we have such responsible gun ownership that every new law that comes out only punishes the gun owner and never the person using the gun in ill will, And
absolutely.
We do it like for sure in Canada. We do like above and beyond, background checks, licensing, and that's fine. I definitely agree with that. But when you start, statistically, there's such little purchased firearms that are on the street or used in a crime that you keep attacking, and especially like what's happening in the States too. It's changing laws up here. It's like, whoa, like what's happening down there has nothing to do. Like we keep forgetting where we are and pushing back on people that are just responsible. They're not doing anything wrong with that. And here we don't even have, someone breaks into your house, you can't even defend yourself.
I know.
And
it's fucked.
So
it's fucked.
Legally you can't.
To a certain degree, but I mean, like we forget that like, someone entering your house to cause violence on you can only be stopped by equal or more violence. That's it. Absolutely. Why do you call the cops? They have bigger,
they have guns.
They have guns.
They're
going to stop you. And also, are they going to be really up to protecting you and your family? Like to a certain degree, like, you even see that like in war, like, some soldiers, once they actually, get on the battlefield, they're not the same person, or, they don't have enough training or this and that. And same thing with any, you're calling someone to come to you to fix an issue. How can you, the only equalizer is having, equal protection. It's harder for you to run out of the house and phone, someone than you protecting your household and doing it in a legal way. But we don't really have that in Canada, in terms of our gun laws. And
Well, one gun is
say.
worth more than 20 cops in cars on their way.
yeah, for sure.
Big time, man.
They'll never come in the nick of time of when something, really spicy happens, right? And who's best, to protect you or your family other than yourself, right?
Yeah, this ain't no paratrooper. Okay,
Yeah.
where they're just waiting. Like, I'll wait for the cops so that it's fair.
Yeah.
Yeah, totally.
Would you like some coffee?
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. Because they're not going to take that consideration for you.
No. You know what? One time I walked. I was at home. My folks were in bed. I was younger. I don't know when. I was in my 20s at some whatever. And I left out the back door to take a couple buddies home. Just drive them home. Right. We were all just hanging out. I was back in probably 15 minutes, but my back door was open.
Yeah.
I went, oh, fuck. Well, actually, right away, I thought maybe my dad was up taking the dog out or something like that. But when I came in the back door, I saw a guy going out the front door. And I mean, the very first thing that went through my head, number one, I wanted to beat this guy's ass real bad. He ran like a motherfucker, but the thing that came to my head was I was yelling at him that I was going to stab him or gut him or do something like that.
Sure.
I didn't have a knife,
No.
but I wanted him to think I did so that, whatever, if this shit went down,
Yeah.
he was scared or something, or I intimidated him, or
It's like a
perhaps
bear
he had
attack.
a
You gotta
knife.
act
If he had a
bigger,
knife,
right?
yeah, I wanted to act bigger. But see, that's what a gun does, and I mean, in a situation like that, and I mean, again, I could be crazy, but if guns are legal or you can protect your home using a gun, it's just less likely that anyone's going to try to fuck with you.
Exactly. If someone has an assumption that you have a gun in the home, are they
Yeah.
gonna really
Well, look at the city of Chicago.
Yeah.
They banned guns in the city of Chicago, and it's got the worst crime.
Worst crime. Yeah.
Because the bad guys will always have guns.
Right, and everyone that screams, you don't need a gun is usually protected by a team of people
That have
guns.
Like
Yeah,
our prime minister.
just like in anyone in suit and tie, preaching that you don't need this, you don't need that, but then just
Bring it in.
oh, bring it in.
Yeah, bring it in.
Like the same people that say like, oh, you don't need to. People shouldn't be able to fly. You should only be able to fly like 2 times a year because of your carbon footprint. But then those are the same people that are flying like,
Private jets.
20 times a day in a private jet to like go from like Hamilton to Toronto. Or something.
Well, there's without a doubt that a lot of these law changes and the law, things that go on, especially today, just make no fucking sense. I say especially today, but I think it's because we're more aware,
Sure.
based on the travel of communication and data and knowledge.
Right.
But yeah, I mean,
But it's also punishing people that didn't do anything wrong, right? You're taking like the new buyback. You're taking things away from someone that did nothing wrong with them.
Can you imagine what it costs to do this buyback?
Oh,
When they could take that money and invest it
millions of
into
dollars, yeah.
border control and
Border
finding
control.
the gangsters that have the guns.
Gangsters that have the guns, there's so many, and we always also worry about everything that's happening around us. We're worrying about what's happening in the States. We're happening this, but we're not, focusing on issues we even have at home, like and spending money on the wrong things. And now you're punishing people that did nothing wrong, taking something away from them, giving them measly amount of money from what they actually paid for, just for the sake of like feeling safe. But
Well,
that's another problem.
that's the problem. They're trying to appease people who are uncomfortable with firearms, who are scared, and they think that, I don't know how they're doing it, but they're brainwashing people into believing that they're doing something about gun crime by taking it away from people like me,
Yeah.
who is a legal gun owner.
Yeah.
I've been a self-defense proponent all my life, and people ask me all the time, if I have a gun and somebody breaks into my house, can I shoot them? I said, well, you're asking the wrong question. It's not whether you can shoot them; it's do you have to shoot them.
Mm-hmm.
So if someone is breaking in and stealing my TV, and I catch them going out the door, have at it. Enjoy the TV.
Yeah, I could buy another TV. It's not worth my
100%.
life.
So I don't have to shoot anybody. But if I came home and there was somebody attacking my lady with deadly consequence, I have to shoot him. So there's a difference, and that's where self-defense with a gun comes in.
It's an equalizer.
Absolutely.
100% an equalizer. And that argument is even more is bigger in the States too, especially here. Like I'm actually developing a women's self-defense program in the next couple months.
With firearms?
No, not with firearms.
Oh, just
but
perfect.
Just me and my sister Catherine and I had this. We both taught women's self-defense years, and I did that before I even joined the Army. And I always wanted to keep doing that. I've been busy with the Army, busy with the movie industry. Now things are slowing down. I want to start transitioning into another chapter. But in terms of that self-defense aspect too, in the States, if you have that legal right of carrying something, especially concealed, for sure, especially women should have that. You think you're going to stop a guy with like a pepper spray or a taser? I've seen grown men, get shot and still move. You're not going to stop them by bothering their eyes or this or that. So if there's a legal means to actually carry something that could, and you're not, using it every day, you're not shooting it up, you're not using it in a road rage, you're doing that to self-protect or protect someone else. That should be your right to do that. And, we have to get, women are always going to be outpowered, right? And if someone is going to hurt you, why not have a tool and not just have a tool. And don't get me wrong, you can't just buy a gun and put it in your purse or put it in your holster or in your hip and expect this thing's going to save my life. You bought that. You're going to train with it. You're going to go to the range, maybe once a month, like something for an hour, get comfortable with it. So when you do use it, you use it proficiently, right? True. I'm not going to go train my guys to go overseas to war if they're not proficient with their tools back here in a safe manner, right? Like the motto of my regiment, in Pace Paratus, in peace prepared. In the peacetime, we prepare for that.
Of course.
And they always have that saying, like, I'd rather be a warrior in a garden than a gardener in a war. So, like, where does that, it doesn't hurt if you're responsible. We task people that are responsible and give them extra responsibilities, whether law enforcement or officials, to take care of us. You don't think you could do the same thing for yourself?
Are there any kind of laws when you go over seas, deployed in some of these dangerous areas you go to? Are there any laws like? I mean, obviously not like Canada. I don't know. Are there laws, gun laws? Is there a lot to worry about?
Well, I mean,
is there a lot less?
yeah, we have what things we have ROEs, rules of engagement. So there's certain rules that we have to abide by when operating in an environment, in a theater of war, right? So there's certain things that there's things that we can't escalate. We have to especially working with a local populace in the area, right? They're all mixed in. There's always threats of you don't know who's who. So you have to, you don't want to go to 0 to 100 real quick. You want to slowly escalate that until it gets.
Are those threats that intense? Like, are they there?
Yeah. Because then there's even like over there they would even test you, right? They'd see what your procedures are, right? And there's certain spots where like, and you always have to even change it up too, like even your routes, or you have to constantly switch them up, or you got to see, and they want to know what you're going to do so they could counteract that, right? It's like even with the vehicles, like a couple years prior to when I deployed, we had a much smaller vehicle that was more susceptible to roadside bombs, and we got a bigger vehicle that could take more. And then they figured out, oh, we just got to add more explosives to get that one down. So it's like, it's a huge cat and mouse, and like testing the waters of each other there. Yeah, so it's definitely a weird game out there.
Yeah, man.
But are there citizens carrying firearms
Out there? In Afghanistan, there were like a few like high level people and like warlords that would carry like firearms, but I'm sure you could find an AK in every vehicle.
Like their own
Over
personal
there,
law.
I have no idea.
No.
Because over there, even at the time that I was deployed, there's like a certain things that like we needed to like say like even driving down the road. When every time there's a Canadian vehicle on the road at the time I was there, we were in the center of the road. Everyone had to get off, or you have because we had a safety bubble around us. So if anyone enters that safety bubble, you start escalating in your ROEs to see if this is a friendly person. Maybe it's someone just forgot or can't read the sign that says "stay back."
Okay.
Of course, because you don't want to do that to like, someone just some idiot just driving down the road and doesn't like realize
not paying attention,
and then just gets his vehicle shot up, right? And he may not be a threat. That's why you have this escalation of force, because you don't want a poor guy who could be a suspected IED bomber, like a suicide bomber, but he's not, and so that's like the constant like. I got to look at everything. Like for example, like a vehicle, like, right? You look at a vehicle, if his shocks are really low, right? He's riding low.
He's
got some weight in the trunk. What's that? And then they started figuring out that, yeah, we know to look for that. Then they started welding the shocks. Yeah. And then you start looking for vehicles that have like shitty shocks. So it's like, there's all these like little.
You're both going back and forth.
Yeah. Sometimes I have to look at a book. It's like, okay, does that look... What type of wire is that? Oh, that could be made into a bomb. Like,
now, how aware are they that how aware are they of the way we perhaps dress or act or anything like that? Can they hide in plain sight being
like a local, just a simple local? Oh, yeah, absolutely. Like I remember one time we came back on an ambush, and we got out, a couple locals got shot. We were doing some first aid on them. And they were literally pointing at a little Toyota Corolla, like I could see it, and it's just driving away. They're like, "Yeah, those guys came out, shot at us with AKs. They all have weapons, but they're driving away. I see them; they're in my sights. I could shoot at them for sure, but they're driving away. I didn't see them with a weapon. I didn't see them shoot or do an act. So I'm going to be the responsible one here and tend to the wounded and help with the situation there, because I can't help."
Well, that issue has been alleviated by them driving away.
Exactly, yeah. But most of the time, they don't want to get into a fight because we have bigger guns, and that goes in our favor, right?
How long were you there for, Adam?
8 months. 8 months. I tried to go back. I regretted not going back just because I think I liked just the work. It's so weird coming back home from a deployment, because it's like you just went into the future 8 months. Like say you went to bed one night and woke up. I come back to Toronto, and it's like a totally different world, right? It took me 2 weeks to drive because I had to drive people, because on the road, having a vehicle like right beside you makes you uncomfortable, because over there it's like I would have made that vehicle get out of the way, or you wouldn't be anywhere near me, because you're always at a risk of that vehicle could blow up and hurt everyone else, right? So it's like a little weird, or you see like a rubble on the side of the road, and you're like, ugh, you weave to the other side, and or even like I remember leaving the house and going back. I'm like, oh fuck, I forgot my weapon, and it's like, no wait, I'm in Canada. I'm good to go.
Going to the gym.
Yeah,
yeah.
Because you always 24/7 over there. You have a weapon on you, like you're sleeping beside it. You're going to the kitchen. You're going to the gym. You're going I think like you could lock it up to take a shower, but like because you never know when you need it, especially if like the base gets overrun. Or,
Sure, makes sense.
Yeah.
That's like being at home and needing
Yeah.
self-defense.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
What's the sidearm that you carry over there?
Oh, over there, I had a Browning 9mm. Now,
By choice or
by choice. So I was a machine gunner, and they gave sidearms to the machine gunners just because like there's times where I'm like I'm not carrying my giant machine gun to the mess hall. Like
Right.
I'd rather have a pistol on me. And if the machine gun fails, I have a secondary sidearm. But it's a very old Browning. It's a Browning that was still marked from 1944.
Oh, wow.
Not to, because I'm still in. The Canadian Army loves to have sort of vintage tools there. Although it's still a great gun, it's pretty ancient if it's just been used.
Browning is a nice gun.
Browning's a nice gun. 1944 Browning is a little different made than
Yeah,
now.
but
No
if
doubt,
it's,
no
if,
doubt.
if it's functional, it
It's
still
functional.
works.
It works. Yeah, that's true.
That was still functional. You know, the bullet goes that way, but
But you know what's amazing?
still
You know what's
works.
amazing? They locals and even Talbot, they are not afraid of the rifles or machine gun. I had a large, it's a light machine gun C9. Not afraid of that. I have 200 rounds of ammunition in there. They don't care.
Why?
The second they see a pistol, they are afraid.
Oh, they watch too many Hollywood movies.
It's not just the Hollywood movies too. It's like the Taliban and like the war, like different warlords would use pistols as more of an intimidation, execution type styles. It's always the pistol in those sort of images of the locals. So they're more afraid of the pistol than they are of the rifle.
Really?
Yeah, it's
you
interesting.
can hide.
That's
well,
really
yeah, I
interesting.
guess, yeah, that is interesting. I was
Yeah.
gonna say you could hide a pistol. You can be
could
more,
hide a pistol, yeah.
diligent with a pistol, but
But like just like an MOK, whenever like I remember asking the director on the last scene, I go, okay, this like we're at the prison, and it's like, okay, this is all at war. Like, do you want the machine gun? He goes, yeah, let's bring out the machine gun. Like, and it made the scene better, right? Like, especially
Yeah.
if you're in a position where it's like all enemy in front of you, and you need to, a plow to get through a long hallway or
Yeah,
anything like that.
going down that hallway was
Yeah,
incredible.
Fun, yeah. But yeah, well, it's nice to have more ammunition than not, right? So,
Sure. So now, what happens? Do you guys you collect your magazines when you're done? You put them away? Or?
Yeah. So you would typically have like a dump pouch when you're carrying when you're going on operation, just so. I mean, you try your best to collect those magazines because they'd be reused. But I mean, if you're, we train guys even in Canada to, once that momentum starts of attacking the enemy, you need to keep going because the second you break that momentum, no matter in what case, you need to keep pushing. Even if your buddy gets hurt beside you, you want to save your buddy that just got shot beside you. You got to keep going because the first rule in battlefield medicine is winning the firefight. You cannot do any type of first aid on your guy until that
makes sense.
enemy's dead, right? You're not going to be, patching them up when there's still bullets over top of you.
well, you'll end up dead.
You're dead. So we train, like, you just yell at him, hey, buddy, like, self-aid, take care of yourself.
We'll be back.
We'll be back, yeah. So,
I do that in video games.
yeah, exactly.
Can't be that hard.
Yeah, it's the same thing. It's the exact same thing. It's just there's no respawn in the real world. So
Well, that's
you got to be
shit.
a little
That's
more.
true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's crazy. So you brought up your sister earlier. She's a black belt.
She is a black belt, yeah. Black belt in Taekwondo, black belt in karate. She was a certified bodyguard back in the day, and she actually started in the film industry as a martial arts instructor for actors and actresses in the city.
No way.
Yeah, that's how she started in the
So
movie
you guys
industry.
I was gonna ask about how that sort of dynamic was
Like
so
connected?
different, but now it's
Yeah, and
clearly
then,
so
so
connected.
she ran a martial arts school in Etobicoke, and I took over until I went to Afghanistan. I shut down that business and sort of focused on the military. And now we sort of want to bring that back, but more focus on women's self-defense because there's a lot more like male-dominated self-defense programs that are out there.
Sure.
And I think now, especially nowadays, especially here in the news, and I want to. It's like a mixture of like real-world stuff and stuff that like I'm not here. Like I don't want to train anyone to fight. You're not there to fight. You're there to end.
That's
Finish
exactly
it.
correct.
Finish it, get out of there. Like there's too much of a tendency, and even males, they think like when they get into a fight or get into an altercation, they think they're in a boxing match or an MMA fight where there's rules. There's no rules in the real world. Like when I'm training hand-to-hand combat with guys in the military, it's kill or be killed. Like we're not here to arm bar someone down to the ground, and this guy wants to do damage to you. So you want to, and especially too, is you don't want to stay there for long. Like the more you fight, the more you're tired, and then there's gonna be another guy. There's gonna be another guy. There's gonna be another guy. Like
Absolutely.
it's a never-ending thing. So. When people I think fight, they have this notion that there's going to be these rules, these made up rules in the streets, or even on the battlefield. They are wanting to do some sort of damage to you. You got to end it. You're not there to fight. You're there to end it and get out, or end it to a point where you have that opportunity to escape. Right.
I love it.
Yeah.
Now you guys going to do this in Toronto?
I'd like to do it more mobile. Like I don't want a brick and mortar one.
Okay, copy.
It's so much easier to go to a business and like use their conference room, or go to a set, use a studio, and things like that.
If you guys want to use the studio,
Yeah.
This studio here, we might need some more. There's too much wires. It might be a little too dangerous.
okay, whatever.
But yeah, so like my sister started that taekwondo business and self-defense and taught actors, and then became an actress, and it was really great even working with her on Vikings, and I did some episodes, I did some stunts out there.
Yeah, tell people who are listening who your sister is.
Yeah, so my sister's Catherine Winnick. She's a pretty good actress. No, she's fantastic. It's really cool. Like I was just with her at the German Comic-Con, and she had the longest lineup of people that wanted pictures and autographs.
Cool.
It was wild.
Cool.
And it's just really cool to see, her character and especially such a powerful character. Like I don't think whatever she does now or in the future is not going to top like what she did as Lagertha in Vikings. And
never know.
You never know. But she's now doing more directing, and she's an awesome director. She directed one episode in Vikings, which I was in. And people might think it's nepotism that I got a role in, but I actually contacted the casting director well before knowing that was her episode, and I tried to see, and he goes, yeah, there's one role. Can you, he goes, I auditioned for it. I did it all proper, no special favors as like you hear in the movie industry. Sent in my audition tape, and then he goes, love the audition tape. Can you ride a horse? I go, absolutely. And it goes, great, you got it. You just got to fly your way to Ireland on your own. I go, no problem. Okay, cool. We're looking forward to seeing you in a couple weeks. Click. Next phone call, horse trainer.
Yeah.
Hey, I need a couple lessons on how to ride a horse.
That's common. Yeah.
That's so funny. Now he's got horse riding on his resume.
Yeah, exactly.
Like every other actor.
Yeah, like every other. But it was funny when I got there. The first thing you do, you see the horse trainer. You don't see anyone else. You don't even see wardrobe, this and that. The horse trainer. You get like some farm outside of Dublin, and he is wild. Like I'm getting on the horse. I'm doing what I need to do for like the scene, and obviously like I think it's like anything over a gallop needs like a stunt.
Oh really?
Something, yeah. And they have some there's some guys from Spain that fly over with their horses. Like their horse, you could say like you could like pretend to shoot the horse, and the horse will just like act and die. But they're just amazing guys. He goes, yeah, you don't really know how to ride. I did pretty good, but he's like, you're not really good. I go, yeah. He goes, but okay, I'll let you. But I've heard that he even fired actors that lied, get there, and they don't do any extra training because they think the horse is going to do most of the work.
Wait, you said horse?
Yeah.
Horse. I thought horse.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah, exactly.
Horse.
And even that take that I did, the horse was off his mark by 1 foot, but the horse trainer was on me. He's like, get that guy on the X. And I go, dude, the horse wants to be here. I'm not like, he's like, no, you can control that horse. Like, it was 1 foot off. It's like, oh my God.
Did your director yell at you?
Yeah, my sister? Yeah, no, I think the sun was coming down, so I think she just took that take.
That's hilarious.
Yeah.
I just saw one. I mean, I was just on set with one of the best horse guys in Toronto, and I mean, even he was struggling with the horse a little bit.
Oh,
the horse
they got their own mind.
It's an animal.
It's an animal, right?
Yeah.
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 And you can train them. They sometimes want.
Just like anything. I actually remember one day I did a gun. I brought in a gun, and they had a raccoon on set. and they wanted the raccoon to. It was a trailer, and once they opened the door, they want the raccoons just to be standing there. And take after take, the raccoon's just like rummaging through the trailer, and I was there doing some guns, but I forget what. I think the actor was a cop or whatever, and they keep going to the animal guy. They're like, the raccoon's not on a spot. He goes, dude, it's a raccoon, man. You can't train these things. You ordered it. I got your raccoon. You're gonna get what you get. Like, it's a raccoon. Like, you're not gonna train a raccoon to do like a dolphin or
Well,
a dog. Right?
I was on a commercial kind of recently, a car commercial, and they had an animal wrangler out there, but she was dealing with the frog.
The frog.
The frog that was in the commercial.
No way. They wanted the frog to do something.
Yeah,
specific?
well, but it was hilarious because all the questions, when the questions come to me about driving, it's this and that and this and that, or when it's directed at camera, it's this and that. They ask the frog girl.
The frog girl, yeah.
Yeah,
Is that an official title on movies?
It might be. They're like, so what do you do? Well, like, how do we get the frog to, She goes, I'm just gonna put it right. Where do you want it? I'm just gonna put it right there. And they're like, well, how do you get to the stay?
I don't know. Just press record.
Yeah, like literally,
Hope
her
for the
answers
best.
were like,
Just be rolling when I set it down.
Yeah.
it was fucking hilarious. There was nothing. A frog.
That was fun. That's good.
Frog wrangler.
Yeah.
Wrangler.
Frog wrangler.
That's the worst thing too. Is like on set they call like armors gun wranglers. Like I hate that term. There's nothing I wrangle. Like the guns aren't gonna run around. Like
I mean,
in
unless
the term,
they're slipping off the table.
armor is the proper term, right? Like even on Vikings, like the armor who gives out the swords, he's the armor.
Here, I'm just gonna change this then.
A gun handler. Yeah.
Handler.
Yeah, it just sounds weird. It's just like you're handling guns. Like I'm not a raccoon handler or a frog wrangler.
So
That's fun.
Yeah, well, man, you've certainly had a career.
Yeah, and
What do you hope to do from like I get the thing with Catherine and doing the martial arts, which I think is awesome, the self defense.
yeah.
But what are you gonna do?
I'd like to, because we've been talking, it's been such on the back burner. I'd like to do that and sort of progress in that. And it's all like, it's getting people confident. Like I've realized that I like teaching. I train guys in the Army. I train actors.
Train me.
I've trained you. Yeah, I remember even like,
Okay,
I'm like,
so speaking of that,
I remember
let's
I gave
talk
him
about that for a second.
What do you want to talk about?
How did he do?
How do you actually did well? He did well. you
Yeah,
know?
be honest.
Baby Butcher.
Be honest.
Well, you know what?
Baby
I gotta.
I mean, I had fun.
That
You
was
had
on.
fun.
Glad
yeah.
I did it.
Oh, we had that week
and you're
long
fucking
training.
awesome.
Yeah, but you know, I mad respect for you because you were in a room with other than like Nolan and Derwin, who's been like on a lot of gun shows. So like it was sort of beginning to train. You were sort of like the new guy, and you were with like ex-SWAT guys and ex-military guys.
Fucking bomb, man.
And you were like fed through a fire hose, so you did awesome. I think you were in MOK probably more than the actual SWAT guys were.
Well, I don't know. I don't know if that's sort of.
I
Yeah,
think you
sort
all
of.
took your turns.
Yeah.
It was, dude. It was so fucking fun, and you taught me like
But that was great.
ridiculous amount of shit that I
was
have actually
4
used.
days of training.
4 days of training, yeah.
And
Well,
Adam,
4 days of training, but there's more throughout.
no,
Yeah,
of
more.
course,
Yeah,
you know.
as production goes,
yeah.
we talk about things.
of
and-
course.
Yeah.
But before we went to camera,
Yep.
all
Yeah.
you guys got inside a room,
and that's rare too. Like what we did on MOK, we don't get that on
well,
other shows.
I wouldn't have done it otherwise.
Yeah,
Let alone
yeah.
4 days.
And it shows. It shows like that all that effort that we put in. Like,
Hell yeah. Even today, since that, I mean, I'd always done like cop roles, but I was the guy I was hiding behind the door.
Yeah. Oh, that's
know,
my
it's-
pet peeve is when someone.
Oh yeah.
The Charlie's Angels.
The hide behind the door. You never do that in the real
Now
world.
there were little things I would know. I remember telling a director that I this doesn't do anything for you. You'd come around, and the director's like, well, no, just keep it, just stay behind the door.
Yeah, there's a happy medium.
Yeah.
I always have to ask, like, what do you want? And do you want it real or do you want it your way? And then we find this medium in the middle, and it's like, okay, that looks cool, but it's my way. And
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
Okay,
move,
cool.
Move it to camera.
And
Yeah.
I think, I don't know if you've realized this, but like recently, after especially all these years of consulting and doing gun stuff, I've realized like, okay, this is not my movie. They're just paying me to be here for today. Like, who cares? Like, if
can
they
only
want to go
imagine.
past it, it's like, all right, you want to look stupid? Look stupid. Like, I'm sure you do that with the stunts
We
too.
do it all the time.
All the time, yeah.
Yeah,
You
all
can't
the time.
help it.
Yeah.
And I mean, I don't know how many cops tell me that cop movies suck, and
Yeah.
firefighters tell me
Oh, yeah.
firefighter movies suck.
Yeah, the
Gun
second you
guys
see
tell me
wrong,
guns
yeah.
suck. Yeah, I mean, it's everywhere. But the fact is, we're appeasing
The people sitting on the couch at home.
99% of the people are not cops. 99% of the people aren't you.
I 100% agree with you, but every time I go on set, either especially like consulting, I'll be like, "You want to see the real thing?" And we do like a full take of like how it's real, and they're like, "That's fucking awesome! That's so cool! Let's do that!" And then they pick that. Or there's times I remember, I think it was on Fahrenheit 451. Was it that 451?
No.
Hey, I was training. Anyway, the firefighting movie.
Fahrenheit,
I think it was 451, 459. I don't know.
Let's go with that.
was it? Yeah.
You know what? It's funny.
There was a
you work
number.
on so
There
many
was a number.
movies. It's like, oh, how many movies? I go, I don't know. Like, it's just like this. That. They're all the same now. Like, it's
Yeah,
That's
yeah. You do it
exactly
for a long
right.
time. Yeah.
But I was training an actor to and I had 30 other actors. I had to train them how to march, and I had to train another actor how to march them like a drill sergeant. I
Wow.
go, that's cool. And on the day, I'm there warming them up, left, right, left, right, left. I had 2 days to train them too. All these like 30 guys, and then the actor comes in for me to train them. So I'm trying to train them before he goes on camera about in like the next half an hour. And the director's like, "Who's doing the left, right, left, right, left, right?" I go, "Oh, that's the military consultant." And they're like, "Oh, just put a uniform on him." And like, why are we training another guy to train this guy to do it? Because it was more difficult for me to get an actor that's never like marched 30 people at the same time.
Right.
So
I see what you're saying.
They sent him home. I put on his uniform, and that was me in the background, just like marching these guys up and down, like.
Hilarious.
Yeah.
Now, see,
Yeah, that makes sense.
case in point, Mayor of Kingstown, when all the riot cops come marching into the yard, when all the guys are doing the riot. So we're bringing all these riot cops in. They're just background, they're
right.
background guys. You
Yeah.
know, great guys. They've done their job.
Yeah, that was
They're
a
all
cool
dressed
moment.
up. It was a hot day, very hot day.
Oh,
I
yeah.
think one of the guys had to be sent away.
I'm pretty sure I was up on the wall with Sean and.
Oh, you
Floody
were doing.
with that,
You're
and-
shooting the smokes.
And you were way down
Armourer.
below, relaxing in that blow up.
Yeah, the hammock.
right.
I had the hammock.
Yeah, yeah. I
Just
remember
picking
that.
up your ammunition. From,
Yeah, that's right.
I have a picture of that I should put up. But I asked my director, "Do you want authenticity or how do you want this?" And he said, "No, we want it authentic." So I went to the prison guy that worked there. I said, "How do you guys do this?" He said, "We just walk in, and on every step we bang our
Yeah,
billy
yeah,
clubs
yeah,
on
yeah.
our our shields."
little show of force. Yeah.
And so I did that. I spent an hour training these guys to do that. And we did it. The director said, "What's that?" I said, "That's authenticity." He said, "Oh, no, let's have them all jog in."
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. So I said,
Yeah.
"Whatever, guys. Now
Whatever
you're-
you want, yeah.
Now you're jogging."
Oh my
Yeah.
god.
I'd say, like, listen, you want it your way, that's fine. Just do one take with the reel.
Right.
See how it is, and then
That
make it-
happens too. That happens too, you know? The
Uh,
stunt stuff, you know.
Yeah.
Similar kind of thing anyway.
Yeah.
But
That's
yeah.
crazy.
But then sometimes they go too authentic, and it ruins. Like, I remember I had to shoot. They wanted I had to train 30 Iraqi soldiers to do a march. It was like a dream sequence. And I go, sure, no problem. They gave me 2 extra days to train 30 guys how to march. And they wanted this elaborate, like, military parade thing. I go, okay, these better be some, like, good good background people to, like, listen to my command. I get there. They give me 30 refugees. Like, no one spoke English. Because they wanted to be authentic. I go, I get authenticity, but, like, I couldn't train them, and they wanted this elaborate thing. I go, you're going to get this. And they're like, we don't want that. I go, that's all you're going to get. And then they didn't believe me, and then they get on set, and we do it, and I go, this is all you could get. Like, oh, can we add this? I go, okay, let's try it. Let's try a take. You want this elaborate thing that would take me, weeks, like 2-3 weeks in the army to train soldiers how to march like this. You want these people that never marched before in their life. We did it. It failed like multiple times, and then they're blaming me. I go, it's like there's only so much you could do, right? You're giving me, bad ingredients, to make a cake.
Oh, yeah.
100%.
And,
All the time.
all the time.
Yeah, welcome to the movie business.
Yeah.
The bigger the budget, they think the more authenticity. Well,
Yeah.
no, it's just more.
No.
It's like
Not smart about it.
yeah. It's just bigger guns, bigger stuff.
Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah.
Or like an actor having to like run through the forest, and it's like he's about to run through the forest. Cut. All right, where's the double? All right, double. Run through the forest. I go, and I remember talking to the actor. I go, why aren't you running through? Oh, they're worried I'm gonna trip running through the forest. Like, why don't you just get that nice full like long take? I'm sure the actor could take it. I'm sure the actor would want to do that. I mean, you're portraying the real thing. You might as well do as much as the real person does.
Agreed.
Right?
Oh, I would rather the actor do everything,
Yeah.
than stick a bad double with a bad
Not
wig,
bad double. Yeah.
in anywhere. Absolutely. So I'd rather train that actor, 100%.
So
I
now,
think the actor appreciates it more. I remember Kevin Durant. I love Kevin Durant.
he's
on
awesome.
The
A
Strain.
Canadian man.
Canadian man. I still talk to him on Instagram here and there.
Really?
but
He's
yeah,
great.
He's a great dude. But I remember he had the exact same gun I had in Afghanistan, and he had to do. He was shooting like directly in front of camera, 200 rounds, full belt. Same one I had on MOK. And anytime I have an actor with a new gun, I go, hey, you want like, let's do some test fire. You want like, you want to feel how this gun is. So like, you're not freaked out on camera. And he goes, you know what? My character picks up this gun and never fired it. Can I do that on camera? I go, hell yeah. Because like
look on
he's
his
Kevin
face
Durant,
is gonna be
huge. It's
awesome.
Like, and he had the like I go. I just want you to squeeze the trigger and hold it until it's stops.
over.
Yeah, and he just did this long take, 200 rounds, and he just felt like so powerful.
This wasn't. What was that?
That was the Strain.
Oh, really?
Yeah, in an alleyway. It was really. Or his alleyway was like it was like the sewers or something like that.
Okay.
And yeah, he loved
Cool.
it. And one take, done. It was like his reaction.
Whenever actors take scripts for the first time, it's awesome.
Yeah.
Because their face, they have
works.
no
Yeah, they're so
idea
cool.
what to react to.
Yeah, man. I was just I didn't get to meet Kevin Durant, but I am a fan, and I happen to be his driving double for just
nice.
one day on a
Yeah.
show, smashing a truck against another truck. It was cool. I saw him from a distance though. And
Yeah.
I was like,
Fanboy.
I want to meet
Yeah, he's
you.
a really good dude.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I really like him.
You know what's funny too is like after all these years, I have zero like starstruck. I do not care. Like you realize these actors are just human beings.
Totally.
They're
I'm the
doing
same
a
way.
job, and some of them are doing it poorly too. Like they're just like more of a face. But I think the only time I was starstruck, I think maybe, and this was like it wasn't even like a big, you meet big stars like Will Smith and Margot Robbie and all those. But like it was Johnny Knoxville. I was probably like the most like, and we were doing a scene where he was getting shot right in the chest, and I have to show because it's like a solid plug gun, so it's safe. But I have to show the actor. I always show the actor, and I go, "Hey Johnny, I need you. We're shooting this blank. Nothing comes out of it. It's called a suicide load. You won't get hurt, but I have to show." He goes, "I won't get hurt." I go, "No, there's no chance." He goes, "I'm good." I go, "No, I need to show you just so you're comfortable." He goes, "Nah, we're good." Is it gonna hurt me? I go, "No, it's not gonna hurt you." He's like, "We're good." And like that was like
This is
like,
Johnny Knoxville.
Johnny Knoxville. Yeah, so I'm like, okay.
I don't even know why he cares.
he doesn't care. Yeah, it was funny. It was a good
That's
scene.
hilarious.
All right, so
man.
That was
just
for Polar. Yeah.
there are a lot of people listening to this. Explain to them how you guys rigged the suicide gun.
Yeah. So I think what's amazing too is like people don't realize we use like real guns on movie sets.
Right.
So these guns, I could put real bullets in them. I could use them, I could use them at war. But we manipulate them so we could shoot blank fires. It's a bullet without the projectile. So it has the gas, has the functionality, has the sound, has everything, but nothing dangerous comes out at the end other than gases and flames. So we rig the gun, and we're always prepared to rig it in very different situations. Are you shooting in a car? You got to have like a much lighter. You don't want a huge gunpowder. Are you shooting outside? You want a big flash. You want to shoot it lots of noise. We could change that on the fly. And then there's these rounds called suicide loads. We call them solid plug loads as well, where we plug the end of the barrel so no flashes come out. And that's the only time that we'd be like, okay, now you have to add CGI, but the gun will function just properly, but nothing dangerous will come out of it.
The slide still comes back.
Slide
it still
comes
ejects
back,
the shell.
still ejects the shells,
So-
can be used.
It's good for camera.
Good for camera. We've used it like across someone's head, chin,
Is
chest.
it nerve wracking?
I've done
for
it.
anybody.
It's for sure nerve wracking because especially for actors and oh, can I point
Inexperienced
this?
with guns.
But
Yeah,
then
yeah.
what I do, we first show like, okay, I show in front of a piece of paper. I shoot the piece of paper. Nothing happens to the piece of paper. I go, okay, cool. Now I want you to shoot me, right? Because I'm confident of making that gun safe. Shoot
time.
me. And then, they do a couple blank shots at me and then they feel comfortable. I go, are you comfortable with that? Let's do it. And then they're... but it's always that progression of them being comfortable with the things, not just going from 0 to 100.
That's like building a stunt.
Exactly.
You
like
start
building
small,
sun, yeah.
and we keep building until we do the
Yeah.
gag, right? Yeah, I've done.
You're not going to jump from 40 feet.
No,
unless jumping
sure.
from
You
10
jump
feet
for
first.
10, then yes, absolutely. So you develop the gag, get their confidence, and
Absolutely.
do it up.
Absolutely.
I'm glad. Okay, good. I'm glad.
But always at the end with that flash and the movement, they love it. And then it works. They shoot it. It was safe. Move on to the next take and. But let the people that are experts in that. I remember on another one, a lot of actors have a tendency, especially if they don't have any training, to have weak wrists, and especially with blank fire because you're not shooting any real bullets out of it. You need to have a strong wrist in holding these guns because you're just firing gas.
Sure.
And I had this young actress, it was an older actress, but she failed to take it, kept jamming. And they're like, Adam, fix the gun. I go, it's not the gun. I forget I go, please, like, stronger wrist. And another take, fail. Another take, fail. Another take, fail. And I remember in the beginning of me being an armorer, I remember I used to take the blame because I felt bad for the actors screwing up and because they have a lot of responsibility to do. They're on camera. And now it's just a point. It's like, okay, listen, if you're not listening to me, like, I go, it's her fault. She's not holding the gun properly like I trained her. And they're like, no, something's wrong with the gun. I'm like, okay, cool. Put in a fresh magazine, fired like a huge burst of rounds. They're like, no, it's good to go. Let's go do another take. And it's like, okay, because you're not even allowing these people to have that training. You're wasting even more time on set too.
So how does a weak wrist prevent the gun from firing?
The gun, because it doesn't have the projectile to push against, because it's just sending out gases, it needs a stable platform for the cycle to move. When it's loose and it's trying to push, like, say, the slide back on a pistol, it's not going to have that solid base to actually do the full cycle.
So there's actually leverage. Oh, yeah.
for
Okay.
sure. Yeah. And if you were shooting a real gun, for sure you would have that extra push from it's pushing its projectile outside the barrel. You know what I mean?
Andrew and I learned about leverage on the weekend, didn't we?
You went
Yeah.
shooting? Yeah.
Yeah. We went to.
We have a couple of kayaks,
Oh, nice. Yeah.
so we threw them in the river this past weekend,
yeah.
and neither one of us are experienced with kayaks. I fully admit it.
Yeah.
We jumped in. We had a great time on the river. We had a ball.
Yeah.
But Andrew said to me, he said, this is a good core workout
Yeah.
because you've got to tense up to do this, right? So when we pulled them out of the river, put them back in the truck, a friend of ours pulled up in his truck, and he goes, yeah, these kayaks are pretty cool. They've got those foot pegs in there, and you can adjust them for your height. What?
What?
There's foot pegs?
Yeah. The foot
What's
pegs
that
you can
for?
put your, hold against while you're doing. Yeah. Oh my God.
So we learned a little bit about kayak.
You'll learn it afterwards. Yeah.
Now
Absolutely.
here, guys, I'm just gonna film. You don't have to keep sipping.
I don't like. Listen.
Like it's,
This is what we do.
you're not.
Yeah, it's a water of life.
You're not in Qatar,
Yeah.
right?
This is your podcast. You can do it
Speaking
your
of
way.
Qatar, Andrew's a really good musician.
He is. Yeah.
Yeah, silly things, what we talk about.
You're gonna have to. Yeah. You're gonna have to definitely play some songs on here.
Well, I thought about that actually. I don't know.
We might do that.
Maybe.
We might do that.
We'll see.
Well, you're here
Take
in
some of the
Cambridge. You
mic
just go. Yeah. Take some of the video cameras. Go on the bridge and
Yeah, that's
do some
true.
Nice,
It's true.
maybe a
Go to
music
the
video.
bridge.
Yeah, there you go.
The bridge.
The bridge. I always
got a
see
few
you at
bridges.
you have your stories of you walking always for coffee. You're
Oh,
always on the
true.
bridge. That's all I
Yeah,
see.
true.
Yeah, that's hilarious.
Yeah.
Oh, those fucking stories.
Everybody's got to follow everybody on Instagram.
Yeah, I mean, if if it's not on the gram, it never happened, right? I almost feel weird, like
true.
taking people skydiving that don't purchase a video package and they're just going there for a jump. And it's kind of I'm impressed by some of them. They're like, nah, I just want to experience this and not look back at it, and I just want to be in the moment. And sometimes it's interesting that because we film a lot, and a lot of people. As they should film it, especially if they're first time. But there's some people that just come out like, no, I don't want a single camera on me. I just want to, enjoy the sunshine
Wow.
and the clouds and out there. Yeah. So
When my lady did it, a friend of hers years ago did it out in Calgary, and she took this beautiful stud of a instructor and grabbed his hands and cupped them onto her boobs. It was kind of funny. So he was a little embarrassed, but they did dive, and she had a great time. So when my lady did it, I went over to her guy and I said, "Listen, don't let her know you're doing this, but when you jump out at some point, because we have it on video and we do have hundreds of photographs, I said, at some point as we're free falling, I need you to grab my lady's boobs." And he goes, "No, I can't do that." I said, "Yes, you can. You got permission, buddy. I need the picture."
yeah.
Yeah, don't
Oh, there's
worry.
some wild
Okay,
things,
my
yeah.
wife has no issue with sexual harassment.
He said I have to phone home and get permission.
Well, there's certain things that happen on the drop
true,
zone
too.
that just stay on the drop zone.
Yeah,
right?
no, and we got the picture. It was awesome. It was perfect, and Rod
Yeah.
had a ball.
What happens on the drop zone?
But look at that. Like, even talking about skydiving and actor and training, like Point Break. Point Break wouldn't be as awesome in Point Break if Patrick Swayze didn't learn how to skydive and jump out of an airplane. And I even heard the producers at that time were like furious that he wanted to learn how to skydive.
Insurance.
Yeah,
It's an insurance
It's
reason.
Yeah.
crazy. Find someone that looks
It's
like him if he
liability,
dies,
man.
Like, these producers got to
Change the
start
script.
being filmmakers.
They do so many reshoots. If an actor dies, just switch out the actor and do a
yeah,
reshoot.
you just do a swap.
Do a swap. They
Yes.
got enough CGI technology.
You
They
get
could
one of
switch
the Baldwin brothers. You get another Baldwin
Exactly,
brother,
yeah.
someone who looks the same.
Okay.
But
funny.
like, yeah. But that reminds me of like another time. I didn't take this person, but I remember one of my friends took it. Another instructor. The parachute opens and he goes, "Fuck that bitch!" And he's like, "I just broke up out of a girlfriend. I just broke up with my girlfriend. I needed some release." And like the second, like the
Really?
parachute opens, like he has this. Like,
And he wanted to yell it
he just
over the
wanted to-
world.
over the world, because like when you're up there in the sky, like you never feel more away from everyone, right? And I think that's like majority of why like most skydivers do it is like for that minute you forget about everything. Like you're not figuring, you're not
You ever
worried
forget about the shoot?
well,
You're looking at the horizon going,
yeah. Oh no, you remember the shoot, that's for sure.
Oh, the ground's coming pretty quickly.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's the thing. That's like a running joke. It's like, you know what the hardest part of skydiving is? The ground. Yeah,
Yeah,
skydiving's
totally.
easy. It's just the ground.
Now
where it
that
hurts.
that said, when I was younger, my father worked with a fella who was a commercial artist. He fenced for Canada in the Olympics,
No.
but he was a skydiver. So it came down, do you want to go skydiving, Randy? Yeah, I'd love to. Well, that weekend, apparently the weather wasn't that great. They kind of canceled. But he and his son went. And his son apparently fell like 3,000 feet in a Roman candle deal
Okay.
where the chute doesn't open.
Yeah.
And he hit the ground, bounced, and all he did was break his nose. Apparently, I mean, it was in the paper. His whole face was just black and blue.
Yeah.
But from that moment forward, I'm thinking,
that must.
it's not,
Yeah.
not for me.
Yeah, I've heard about that too. And I mean, now I imagine well, I don't know if I should say a name or not, but a mutual, I think, buddy in the stunt industry who had a friend pass.
Base jumping.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, like with base jumping, I mean, that's just like a whole, like I've done I'm no base expert. I've done 3 base jumps off a bridge in West Virginia.
Looks fucking awesome.
It's
dude.
fun. It's a lot of fun. It's this bridge called is it New Gore Bridge? Anyways, it's in West Virginia. It's 1 day a year. It's legal to jump off of. So they have this big festival.
Oh,
so
shit.
you sign up for it. Me and 3 buddies drove down there. We spent the weekend up there. I did 3 jumps on the Saturday. It was a wild event. But for base jumping, like I would love to get my base number, and so base actually stands for BASE. You have to get all 4 letters to become a base jumper. So I only have S. I have span, which means for bridge. So B is building, antenna, span, and earth. So those are the 4 things you need to jump off of to become a base jumper. Wow. I only have one of them. I would love to just get it.
Is this a legit thing
This is
or
legit
just a
thing.
community
This is
thing?
a legit thing. Like you literally have to like send your photographs and video to some lady down the state. She approves it, and then become a base jumper.
And then what do
shit.
you do from there?
No, you just have
Become a base jumper.
You're just a base jumper. Like you could
Oh,
do
okay,
you know
okay.
You stop because you're still alive.
yeah. There's a whole group of people.
Yeah, yeah.
There's a whole secret group of people in Toronto jumping off of buildings like downtown and things like that, or
No
off
doubt.
bridges
No
all over the
doubt.
states. But like, that's just another aspect of like pushing the limits. Like anytime, and especially base jumping, guys like that start doing wingsuiting across mountaintops. So if you see those videos, like that's
fucking
something
awesome.
I don't want to do.
It's
Like,
incredible.
It's beautiful to
You
watch.
see those guys
Yeah.
thread that needle?
Yeah, it's insane.
They ride along cliffs and touch their fingertips along the wall.
yeah.
Well, they wouldn't touch, but they get very close. But
Oh my God, that's amazing.
you just wrote a check that you're like most of those base jumpers and those crazy videos you see, most of those guys are dead. So it's like once you start doing it, either you retire quick or you're gonna die, and that's just something that's in anything in life. Like you want to experience the joy of it, and some that's like an aspect. I would love to jump off like a cliff in like Norway, but I would love to do it in like the safest way possible. Like even in parachuting, like I've done some crazy stuff, jumped into like stadiums and beaches and like these crazy locations, and that's cool. But like for me to like jump like a high performance parachute that's much smaller, like I don't want to do that. Like I like landing. I already do enough crazy things. So like it's always people pushing the limits, and they should, absolutely, everyone does that. But then you have to respect that aspect of once you push it too far and you die, like
So given the
you wrote that check.
I mean,
Yeah, man.
100 years ago, guys weren't jumping out of planes.
No.
That's only 100 years ago. We
Yeah.
talk history all the time. Our country's young, yet it's older than 100 years.
And there's always Daredevils. Everyone has that Daredevil experience. Like I was shooting a film in Niagara Falls, and I spent studio puts you up at Niagara Falls for a hotel, and I'm there chilling by Niagara Falls, and like the only thing that I got interested in Niagara Falls because it was beautiful to finish off the day at 5 a.m. because Niagara Falls is empty. That's the best time to see
Right.
Niagara Falls.
No tourists.
No tourists.
Yeah, the casino's empty too.
Yeah. I went there, and then like at 10 o'clock it's busy. I Niagara Falls is like the worst place during the day.
Yeah.
You want to experience the falls, go at 5 a.m. But then the only thing I was interested is I looked up the history of all the people that went over the falls.
Yeah.
There's like 20 or 30 people that went over the falls. 6 people died.
What do you mean over?
They went over in barrels. One guy
I see.
One guy went over in a kayak. You know,
Wonder if he
Oh, he
knew
died.
about the foot things.
he died. The kayak guy died. He was so confident that he was going to survive. He booked a hotel room at one of the hotels looking over. Reading the story is insane. But he died. Another guy went over with a jet ski, died. It's just guys pushing the limits.
A jet ski?
Yeah, a jet ski.
That's ridiculous.
I mean, you're likely to get more.
You'll get
length.
forward. I
Yeah,
thought about
but
this.
you're not going over the falls. You're kind of leaving
Yeah,
them.
true.
It's the Daredevil mentality. Like, so I was reading about this, watching YouTube videos, but I was on the falls at like 5 a.m. and maybe it's like even with the stunts too. Like you look at it, it's like, yeah, you could do this. You could get this done. Like, and that's always that like Daredevil mentality. You know, the first person I went over the falls was a 63, 65-year-old woman in like 1850.
Yeah, well,
she
she's
broke
an
both
idiot.
her
It
ankles.
took a long time
She
to think
broke-
about doing this.
She survived, broke both her ankles. Like there's
what'd she
always
do?
that daredevil
Was she in a
mentality.
barrel or how
She was
that-
in a barrel, a wooden barrel.
Why a barrel? Why the fuck
Well,
a
you're in
barrel?
1850. What else are you gonna pick?
True. True. I have one of these.
They were
So I'm
even
just-
like, you know what?
She obviously drank all the whiskey
Yeah,
in it.
she probably in it and then got in. But she broke both her ankles, and she did it for fame more than anything else, and money.
Okay. Yeah.
Well, she's
And
obviously
got
really
us
famous
talking
because
about
none
her.
of us know her.
Well,
Yeah.
we're talking about her.
Well, we're talking about.
the fuck's
I
her
don't remember.
name?
I don't remember her name.
Yo,
But
we got to give a shout out and an Instagram handle for this girl. No.
Oh my God.
That was before Instagram, right?
Oh yeah.
They even to attract people. I'm just on Niagara Falls because it's just such an interesting history there because it's just so wild. Like it's such a weird history, and then you see these like, I think there was like 5 wax museums.
Yeah.
In like a walking distance. It's like,
Oh, yeah.
Is this Niagara Falls or is this like some carnival?
It's a competition between who can do
They
the
tried-
better Batman.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And it's like, do you go to Niagara? And I always find that interesting, especially working in the movie industry and seeing like those wax museums. Like, okay, if you met these actors in real life, you would not be taking photos of them. Like, they're just like such regular people, and it's just like this glow around them. But like Niagara Falls attracted people. I remember back in like the 1800s, they said they even threw wild animals. They would put like lions and tigers and like giraffes on a wooden boat and launch them over the falls.
Why?
Look that up. That is a history. That is Canadian history.
That's
It's
ridiculous.
just because they needed people,
Oh
tourists
my
to come
God.
in.
Oh, good.
Isn't that
There goes
crazy?
Jerry the giraffe.
Yeah.
Like what the fuck?
I think it was like 1800s. You know,
Oh
when
my
they first
God.
caught giraffes, they had like thousands of them.
Well,
like-
I can imagine discovering Niagara Falls and then thinking, what can we throw over the fucking
You know,
Yeah.
somebody listening to this is going to sue their family now.
yeah.
Well, that was like in the 1800s, so like who knows what's gonna happen?
Yeah.
But, like-
Oh, Billy, I dare you. I dare you to go.
Yeah, well, talk about like stunts and rigging and making everything safe. It's
Yeah,
like let's
fuck
just
it.
throw a bunch of animals in a thing and just shove them over the falls.
So this was for people to watch.
To watch, yeah. That was an advertisement. They have like posters of it. Like, and it was just interesting. And like, it's funny, like you almost have to appreciate like when movie sets or when movie productions send you to like an austere location. It's like I spent an extra time like after like working 12 hours. Like I remember just going up and down because like I'm never going to rent a hotel room in Niagara Falls. Like it's ridiculous.
Right.
But I'm working there. I'm going to spend like an extra hour.
I
in
do
this
it all the
spot.
time.
But look at Kingston. Like when we were hanging out and having a great time and having all that great downtime in that area, but learning the history of like Niagara Falls, which is just like down the street from us, and what the crazy things that they do there. It's
Totally,
it's
man.
crazy. Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah, Kingston was incredible.
Kingston's a lot of fun. Yeah,
That was fun.
I had no idea.
I had no idea.
I shot in Kingston.
that was
before.
that was a cool set. I don't know why they don't film more in that old penitentiary, man. That was really.
Well, I'm sure
cool.
they do. A lot
I'm sure
of
they
TV series
but-
do.
I
Yeah,
heard
that's cool.
Pittsburgh's got a better one. So
Pittsburgh's got an empty one. That's what they got.
true.
But they don't have as good as a Roberts team.
Oh, Roberts team,
First,
yeah,
as
absolutely.
the first season.
No way.
Can't
But-
wait to see it.
It was
That
cool.
was fun,
Like,
though,
it was
man.
such a cool thing. Like, and everything that we even did, it was cool that Taylor Sheridan's like, okay, do it. Yeah, like we did this, and they're like, yeah, I love that. We did this, and like it was nice to like almost like allow the guys that have done it for real to have an input in the actual show.
Absolutely.
And that
Well,
was
I think
really
that
cool.
he was into authenticity.
Yeah, and you see that with
Yeah.
everything that he's
I
done.
wanted to
too.
bypass the wardrobe people, and I showed him the patches, and he said, "What's that mean?" I told him. He said, "Yeah, fuck yeah." Put 'em
Yeah,
on.
yeah. I remember
Yeah,
showing
yeah.
him the
Yes.
picture. He's like, do it.
Yeah.
And yeah,
That's awesome. Yeah, I remember showing him my dick pic. He was like, "Yep,
Yeah.
Yep.
Keep that in.
Keep that in there. Yeah.
yep, kid,
Yeah.
put that in it."
And shout out to Hugh Dillon, my friend from Flashpoint in a lot of years. I wouldn't have been there without Hugh. I miss him. I wish I was down there with him.
100%.
Yeah, and he was amazing. Like he would just
Yeah.
even allow us to do things that's like, yeah, that's cool. Like, do it.
Absolutely.
And the reason we talk about the show so beautifully is because of the authenticity,
a great
the
experience.
amount of and there was a freedom to be a little bit creative and all this other. You had talked earlier about this lack of perhaps trust in the person who you got specifically involved on the crew to make this particular thing happen.
Sure.
And in that show, it felt like they delegated properly, and they sort of said, this is my dream. Now you just tell me how I can make this happen properly. That was fucking cool, man.
See, I think it's important to hire professionals and let them do what they do.
Yeah. And even shout out to like you coming into a group of guys that already have like this deep history, like with Sean and Gordy and Dave. Like, oh my God, we had like 100 years of like
it was unreal
of like gunfighting experience. You came on that, and then what's even crazier is Hamish coming on. And he had like I remember talking to him when I first trained him. He goes, 3 days I was bartending. And, but he made the extra effort, be like, he always came to me. Like, I didn't have to, like, I'm always worried about like overstepping, especially with actors. He was like, I want an extra training day. I want to be way better than this. Like, even like texting me when he's working on season 2, it's like, I'm doing this, and this. I'm like, right on. Like,
well, it's good research.
It's good
professional
research.
actor. He's doing his due diligence as he should.
Yeah. And that's great, but
sense.
you also see the opposite on sets where like I've been actors like, oh, you should do it this way, or maybe like that's not real, and they'll be like, I'm doing it my way. I'm like, okay, cool.
Well, that's the difference between a pro and a not pro. Totally. Something like that.
Yeah.
Pro
and not pro.
Pro and not pro.
Pro and not pro.
That's like you and me in kayaks.
Yeah, pro
and not pro.
Not pro.
Not pro.
No, that was funny.
But you're also making movies too. It's like, so don't you want to do it as close to the realness as possible?
Well,
in the safest way.
I mean, you
100%.
you must watch a million movies, but I mean, not just gun movies.
Sure.
Okay, like a cop might say to me, "Oh, that's not how you're a cop." But military movies.
Oh, man. Military movies, with me are the worst. Yeah.
I mean, but now having said that, just quickly, when I was on a show the other day. It was based in the 1960s, and it was a true story of sorts. Every time I hear the words "true story," I kind of roll my eyes. Okay,
Yeah.
And then is this true story as substantial across the not just from the writer's perspective or the director's perspective, but then there's the wardrobe and makeup. There's all these people that got to be as authentic as possible, and they literally rehearsed this scene that we were in. They wanted to bring us in before lunch to block and rehearse it. We blocked and rehearsed, and we went back to we went and grabbed our lunch and went to our trailers. And in that time, we were told that nothing was as it was when it happened. So everything we just rehearsed was out the window. And then we were told 2 completely different scenarios that would probably happen. And I went, well, which one was true? Which one's the true one?
Yeah.
What's happening? So, and I mean, my coordinator was just as, like, I don't know. So I imagine anyway, even when a situation is supposed to be authentic, and even when it's not authentic, or it's just a non-fiction, or sorry, it's a fiction story. I mean, you must want to hurl.
Yeah, there's, and I remember I came in as a consultant for a space show. Okay, I'm not gonna name names, but it was a movie set in space with futuristic aliens and all that. They wanted this alien race to look like SWAT, look like military. They had these like space guns.
That's what they do.
Funny.
Nothing real, but it's all this like the weird space, and they all have these weird uniforms. So I had to figure out how they looked cool and military like, because like the actors had very little mobility because of the costumes that they had. They're like they weren't humans. They're like this like a lizard race or something like that. And then I figured it out how they could look cool, right? And they did awesome. The director loved it, but the coordinator for that, she's like, that's not how they do it. That's not how they do it. I go, really? Do you know how they do it in like Planet Zorbob or like wherever we're like pretending to be?
The
like
stunt coordinator?
The stunt coordinator was angry at me. Like,
now we can figure out what the show is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But like, it's just like, it's like, I'm trying to, help you as much as I can. Sure, if you don't like it, we'll change it however you want it. But like, you're giving me a space show with these fake laser guns that shoot like plasma. You know, I'm trying to help you as much as I can, but don't like disagree with me as saying that's not how it's like done. It's like how are we
listen,
That's
listen,
hilarious.
Adam. We want this alien race to be legit. They each have 8 arms. Go.
Yeah, 8 arms, and they are the special forces of planet Gloop Glop.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah.
It's like that's the backstory I got. I'm like, okay, cool. Let's like make it look cool as possible. Like director loves it, but it's like someone else doesn't love it. It's like okay, in anything you can't please everyone. It's like
Yeah, the stunt coordinator.
What's
not
it
good.
What's it like? What's it like when you gotta be cool, rather than like you got like Schwarzenegger or someone of the sort, and you gotta be. It's meant to look fucking rock and roll. Not,
you know what anything that looks cool on camera is the real thing. Once you add the real thing, it's always cooler.
Yo, I agree with that.
You know?
Okay.
Are you guys doing this Schwarzenegger?
We are
whatever his
we are
name is?
supplying the firearms for the Schwarzenegger show. I haven't been working on that because we have another lead armor. Anytime there's a show, we tend to have like
Sure.
a lead armor.
Makes sense.
And then sometimes they even get hired as a consultant separate from like the army, the armor stuff. But it's nice to see like even Polar, they came in and they wanted to see all the guns that would play. The actor picked up a gun that he wanted, like Mad Mikkelsen figured out a gun that his character would like gravitate to, and that'd be his sort of hero gun, and that's cool to see. But a lot of times it's like just bring in a gun, or like they'd bring in. Oh, man, there's so many times where they would pick a gun because they think it looks cool on camera, and then I come in with the real gun, and like the actor can't use it.
Right.
Because either it's way too advanced for them, or and not to be insulting, they're too weak for
the wrist thing.
The wrist thing, or pulling the trigger. There's some people that can't pull like a very heavy trigger, and then they film like weeks with a rubber gun, and then I bring in the real gun, and the actor can't shoot the gun, and it's like. Well, why'd you pick that gun? They're like, oh, we like the look of it. It's like, well, why didn't you? If you train the actor, I would have told you never to pick this gun. But we liked how she carried. And then and then it's my fault. They're like, can you make the gun easier to shoot? It's like, no, the gun is the gun. Like, or we bring in like a fake gun and like a rubber gun or an airsoft because they don't want to either safety concerns to have a real gun on set. But I'm there to babysit a toy gun, and then the toy gun fails, breaks, and they're like, "Can you fix it?" I go, "No, I didn't build this thing. If it was a real gun, I could fix it, no problem, because that's what I'm trained to do. But you guys ordered the cheap option, and you want me to fix something that doesn't look real and it's a toy. I have zero expertise in this, so you guys are just downgrading yourself every time. Like, oh, I got the real one in the truck. You want the real one? No, we don't want the real one. It's like we want.
So shout out to producers who want to buy cheap shit.
Yeah.
You should be hiring the real
Absolutely.
deal. The real deal.
You want the real things, order the real things, get the experts that know how to use the thing. Like, you're not going to have a guy driving a Charger, whipping down like the Gardner Expressway for some crazy scene. And that's the first day he drove the Charger. Like,
Yeah,
True
totally.
enough.
Yeah.
I mean, they've done that, but that Charger
done
ends
that.
up around a post.
Yeah, exactly.
somewhere.
And then they have to order 3 or 4 more Chargers.
And they won't spend money on that, but then they spend money on all sorts of bullshit that's just a waste of money.
Now, is there a movie that you watch that you're like, now, okay, what I want to know
This is a good question.
here,
Is there a possibility to pause this and
Fuck
take
no.
a break?
You have to
I need to
pee?
take a piss, yeah.
So, Deanna?
uh,
10-1,
back in.
as what they call in the movie industry. 10-1.
Yeah, 10-1.
There's
Going again.
Yeah, you can't say on the radio, yeah, I'm going to go take a piss. It's always like
True. It's
10-1,
yeah,
yeah.
10.
10-1.
Yeah, you're like 10 guys, 10-2.
10-2.
10-2.
You know what? I haven't heard
10-2.
10-2 on the radio.
10-2.
No, everybody's too embarrassed to go to 10-2.
Yeah. They say 10-1, and maybe a little longer.
You know what bugs me on set after being so many years in the Army? When guys say copy. Like on the radio in the army.
That's what we do constantly.
Constantly. Copy that. In the army, you say copy that is a totally different structure. Like for us to respond on the radio, it's always Roger that or Roger. And to hear copy that, because copy that is like when you're sending like coordinates and then you need someone to copy it. Yeah, that's the only time we use copy that. So anytime I'm on the radio, especially as a gun guy or just sitting on set, and it just drives me up the wall because like, you're using wrong radio procedure. And I was like, in the army, I would yell at a private for using that type of procedure wrong. But like here in the movie industry, I just have to, stay quiet.
Yeah, nobody says Roger.
No one says
Roger. No one says Roger.
Copy that.
Why?
Copy that.
Yeah, copy that. That just puts the movie business into a.
Yeah.
It's
exactly
I'm
as
really
it is.
upset right now.
Yeah. Everything's fucking fake.
It's already been doing it for so many years. Yeah, I can't correct.
Well, speaking of fake, one of my favorite movies in the whole world is Kick-Ass.
Kick-Ass. Okay. Yeah.
Did you watch that movie?
Yeah. That was filmed here, right, in Toronto.
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah, a lot of it is filmed in Toronto. Yeah. Actually, yeah, there's tons of stunt guys that I've seen in it.
Yeah, Kick-Ass is shot here.
Anyway, I love that movie. Now, it's not a military movie. It's not a cop movie. It's not anything like that. But there are guns and there's action. And it's really good. I mean, in my opinion, there's a lot of moments in that movie that are just like, wow. I can't believe that it's been executed the way it has. Not everything is perfect. That's for sure. But it is a great film. Now, there's the scene where Nicolas Cage shoots the young lady. I forget her. Can't remember her name. But if you remember her name, say it.
Yeah, it's like Cortez. No,
Cortez. Yes, it's Cortez. Know. She's a knight.
Haley something.
But he shoots her with like what looks like a fucking .40 caliber revolver or some shit like that, right? And she goes flying back. She's got her vest on. She's like, Dad, that kind of hurt. And he's like, well, now you're ready. How close is that scene to anything realistic? And how close could that movie or any movie similar to it?
Yeah, like that scene. If she shoot, like if a father's shooting a .45 caliber bullet at like I think she was like 10 or 12.
Yeah.
Even if with body armor, she'd probably break a couple ribs for sure.
Right.
But so of course there's movie magic happening and things like that. But I always say to actors, especially when they like is putting on body armor or carrying a fake gun, it's like, don't you want the real thing? It's like when we add foam into body armor and it looks like it's just wrapping around them, it doesn't look good. I go, put this. Like sometimes I force them to wear training plates, like plates that we would use even in the army to train in. It'd feel like the real thing. It'd look like the real thing. It's like, don't you want that? And like even on MOK, it's like and it was very difficult for even the actors to fight us because like all the SWAT guys were wearing the real stuff. We were wearing steel plates. It was heavy. It was daunting. It didn't make the day go any better. But I kept telling these guys like. Anyone wearing them, even like guys that played like cops, I go, guys, like we wear these things every day for hours. We're on a movie set you're wearing this for 6-7 hours during the day. You could handle this. Like, don't you want to be feeling like what your character would be feeling on a hot day wearing this gear?
You know what I did on Suicide Squad? Just one day with that gun that I believe you held in the real deal fucking army.
Right.
At the
LMG,
time they were
the light
calling it
machine
a
gun?
SAW.
The SAW, yeah. The Americans call it the SAW, the squad automatic.
Of course
weapon,
they call it the SAW. Of course the Americans call it the SAW.
Americans have good names for it.
Yeah, and I get it. I was like, why the SAW? Like stupid question.
Yeah.
I'm like, well, SAW's every 1.5. Anyway.
So why the SAW?
Well, it's named SAW in the States. We call it an LMG, a light machine gun.
Stupid name.
Yeah. The Americans call it a squad automatic weapon. SAW.
Okay. So it wasn't legit for like tearing
It wasn't the
legs off.
SAW people down.
Yeah, it was like the SAW gun.
Shoot
A
all the
machine gun.
wild
A machine
fucking-
gun is used for suppression. It's meant to keep the enemy's heads down.
Well,
So
yeah.
you could get closer and closer, and then the guys with the rifles do the precision shooting. Right.
Okay. Well,
You don't have to be accurate with a machine gun.
Just holding that gun, we had to. I mean, basically, I used it. It was fucking awesome to use.
of course.
I'm like,
Everyone using that gun feels like
dude,
a million
it was
bucks.
amazing. My whole action was to take a knee and start blasting an apparent monster that just isn't there in the subway. Right now, Then my head comes off. It fucking kills me. Whatever. But most of my day was me running with this fucking gun.
Oh, yeah.
And I was the only one with that gun. There was a whole crew of dudes behind me, and I'm the only one with the gun. And the guy, and I don't know his name, but the guy that was their consultant that day was a Navy SEAL, and he said, you're the biggest dude. You're getting this gun. This is the one that I used when I was running around.
Holy shit, I've used that line so many times.
Which is hilarious because I thought about that. I've thought about that. It doesn't sit with my dreams, but but I've thought about it
as you're holding it.
Yeah, and I think to myself, okay, big dude, that's what we do. Then I met you and found out that you used it, and I went, dude, he's not a huge motherfucker.
No, yeah.
You fucking ran around with this thing.
Yeah, you carried it. It's just part of your repertoire.
Yeah, it's just like
It's
my cell phone.
You
is,
name it.
Right?
Actually, the one I had in Afghanistan, I actually called her Avril. That was
Really?
Yeah, Avril.
After Avril Lavigne?
Yeah, I was a
Really?
big fan of Avril Lavigne.
No, it's a Canadian thing.
Wow.
It's Canadian thing.
Loser.
You gotta call, but you gotta call your rifle. You gotta give it a woman's name.
Yeah,
It's
I'm a big
tradition.
fan of Nickelback. I named my cell phone Chad Kroger.
Yeah. We listen to Nickelback in the car, but you can't name your rifle Chad Kroger or Chad Kroger.
Okay.
Yeah, that happened the other day. I was because the movie or the TV show didn't want real guns, so we brought in fake airsofts, and the actors were complaining, like, "Can I get a lighter one?" I can't go lighter than this. This is the fakest gun of fake. It's plastic. Carry it. Like, what do you want me to say? Like, you want me to switch out? You've already been filmed for 2 days with it. I can't switch you out. Pretend, dude. You're acting.
Okay, so are there any movies that just don't seem as fake? I imagine military movies try hard to be
they do
real.
like, I think most recently that I watched, which was amazing, was Terminal List. Terminal List on Amazon Prime was fantastic.
Terminal
List with Chris Pratt, but they had actual like Navy SEALs and proper consultants, and the writer for that was an ex-Navy SEAL, so they were getting this authentic, for sure, out the door. Some of my classic favorites is like Band of Brothers. I watch that every year around Christmas time. Amazing show. I've always imagined. I think sometime in the future, because like I think we all have our different aspects, like working in the movie industry and stunts, and like even you, like you're going into more writing and you want to make your own stuff, and that's great. And I think me even doing other things other than Armourer stuff, because I love the time there and I love consulting. The more movies have a consultant, I feel like, okay, this guy wants the real thing. But like Band of Brothers was amazing. And that's why I always imagine like maybe one day I would love in the future making like a Band of Brothers, but like some of our Canadian stories, because like there's only so much you can do in movies. I think to movies that are even filmed here that we sort of glorify, American contact and American history. It's like, oh my God, like,
well, they're American made.
They're American made, but there's so many cooler stories that we have in our history that like no one hears about. And it's almost like I only get to talk about them like one time a year when I do like Remembrance Day ceremonies or talk to schools. And people have like no idea like Canada did this or did that, or
I've heard that Canada's tac force. Oh, what am I trying to say?
JTF
Special Forces?
Yeah. Joint Task Force 2. That they've had more rescue missions and successful rescues than any other,
I mean, we take pride, like, talking about, like, the infantry side of things and being a grunt in the Canadian Army, like, I could say with pride, the Canadian Army takes, like, as soldiers, as individuals, we take pride in knowing all aspects of our job, like, where we train, because we're such a small army, we train in all aspects that, if this guy goes down, someone could replace him, or we're so like multi-level trained that we do a lot more with a lot little. Like, so we are way better trained. Maybe not the best equipment, but that's Canada. But we have such a drive and driving force. It's like even the people don't know, like the term stormtroopers was a term developed by the Germans to talk about Canadians. They're like, these guys are stormtroopers. We keep shooting them down. They keep jumping over the hill.
Really?
Shooting, yeah. In World War II, they called the Canadians stormtroopers because they couldn't stop them. They had no idea to
cool.
stop them.
I'm proud to know that.
Yeah, and like even like look at Vimy Ridge. Vimy Ridge was the first operation that all Canadians were a part of. Like they're like, okay, we can't figure out how to get this hill. You know what, Canadians? This is the first time you get to do your own thing. Let's see if you could do it. And we did it successfully, but we planned it out. And that was the first time back in the early 1900s where back in the day when they started, training in warfare, the lower level guys, like the infantry guys, like the grunts, they'd be like, okay, run up that hill and, kill the enemy. This was the first time they started implementing planning with the younger guys, with the lower level guys. So everyone knew, because it's one thing to know what you do on the battlefield, but it's another thing, of understanding of your part to the larger picture of things. So that's the first time that they started implementing training with everyone, or not even training, but like missions. So like Canadians, we take pride in really knowing what we're going to do prior to doing it. So when we do have a mission, we're ready to go. We do our little training. We do scenarios, just so when we actually do it for real life, it's gonna like be more like clockwork. And that's in Vimy Ridge. That's when they first implemented. Okay, you're doing this because this guy needs this to get done. So you need to capture this at this time. And it's just crazy how that our history of sort of developing that, especially as a young nation at the time. And guys coming together just to like get over this one hill and capture it from the Germans. Like it's insane. And we don't hear that enough because I think we're oversaturated with like American history and American like war stories. And we have so much in this country that we don't do enough of.
Do you ever get a headshot and because you're Canadian, you say thank you? Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you very much.
What? A headshot?
You're
more polite.
I don't mean to be brutal about it.
You're more polite.
Yeah, you're just polite. No, I'm just being a dick.
I know.
It's funny. I remember this one story. Like in our regiment, we have a regimental drink called Calvados. It's a French brandy, apple brandy. It's made in Normandy. So the reason why it's our regimental drink, and we take shots on like Remembrance Day, Christmas, anytime we have some sort of thing. But the reason why it's our regimental drink is when we stormed the beaches in Normandy, they hid the Calvados from the Germans for 4 years. Like they buried it. They wouldn't allow the Germans to drink the brandy because it was such a special like drink to them. The first night Canadians were there, I think it took like, I talked to like even Jack and some other World War II vets at the time. They go, yeah, like I was in a bunker and some guy brought this glass of brandy, apple brandy, and I think that's my phone.
Oh, is that what we're hearing? Okay.
Probably somebody.
I was thinking suddenly we're in a fucking call center.
Brandy.
Yeah. So it took like 8 hours for Canadians to find the booze that was buried in France and dug it up, and we were drinking apple brandy because one thing that like the French offered it to us as liberators and things like that, but like within 8 hours we found the brandy faster than the Germans found the brandy in 4 years, right? And then that sort of made a staple as Calvados as our staple drink, as our like regimental drink.
That's cool.
Yeah, it's cool.
Cool piece of history.
It's a cool piece of history, yeah.
When we have you back, we'll have some.
Well, I will bring some proper Calvados. I won't bring the cheap stuff. I'll bring the proper one. I was even thinking about what can I bring today? But next time I do this, I'll definitely bring Calvados.
Yeah,
we'll drink Calvados.
We're early here, now you've got some
this is a beautiful thing though that you guys got here. I mean, like,
thanks, man.
And especially like seeing like you guys seen like so many different aspects from cops to like you had a firefighter on last and army guy. It's like
kind of cool.
We're just
different
having our
person.
friends on.
Yeah,
Let's
so
have
that's
it.
what
We're having our
that's what
friends
makes
on,
us
having a
easier.
chat,
Like,
man.
I could never do this if it was like any two other people, like other than
Man.
Senior Butch and Baby Butch. You know,
No, that's great.
it must be hard being baby. Like you're stuck with Baby Butch.
No, I love it.
Yeah,
I don't care. You know what?
Where's Baby Butcher? Yeah, he's over there.
I think that there is a certain perspective that comes from
Who
others
started
about
that?
who I am and all. Oh, that was Chelsea,
Oh, Chelsea on
First
Chelsea
Chelsea started,
or not first AD, whatever.
Second AD.
Trailer AD, third AD,
second AD
second.
on.
I can't even.
Kingstown.
I can't even. I remember getting my ACTRA, and I had to do the ACTRA intro course. And I was already in the film industry as an armor for like several years, and it was almost embarrassing. It's like you had to like, they had like name descriptions. You have to like find the best script, find the director, and like I remember like even like in that class, they're like, the director, don't ever talk to him. You never talk to the director. It's like, okay.
What the hell?
Yeah, it's just.
What's I
trying to
mean,
keep
they're
this-
obviously trying to set you up to just be, just shut up,
Yeah,
shut up,
just-
shut up, shut up, shut up, and so that when you do speak up,
I think
it's like
I think
the
that was
right
meant for
moment.
background.
It's meant for back.
And no offense to background.
No offense about it. But and I totally understand that. When you get like 500 people on set.
Yeah, they have no reason to go speak to the director.
Yeah.
But hey, man, I love being Baby Butch.
Baby
It's all
Butch,
good,
yeah.
man. I mean, Chelsea made it up, but I'll play Baby
It
Butch
works.
forever.
Yeah, Baby Butch. Senior. Are you Senior Butch now, or are you just Butch?
Just
Just Butcher.
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 Yeah. Don't be
Randy
adding
Butcher.
senior to shit.
Yeah. What I love about you, though, Randy, I have bad respect, is like the second when I hear Randy's rapped, boom, gone. Never hear from him again.
Yo,
He's
so many
the fastest
people, man.
off set. I remember being on set one time and someone rapped me. Someone rapped me, and I'm like, great, I'm rapped. Locked up my guns. Well, I was on the highway within 2 seconds, and someone, the second AD yelled at me. He's like, "Where did you go?" When I rap you, I expect you to be on set for at least half an hour before you leave. I go, no, you rapped me. The second you say
Why? What?
rapped, gone.
Yeah.
And
Exactly
mad,
right.
like, mad respect for you. You're
Well, it's
already like in the car, gone. Like, oh,
know,
you want me back? Okay, give me.
No, when
another
you
day.
showed up today, you were like, "No wonder you fucking jet because
yeah.
we
You
live
guys-
an hour outside the city without traffic, and Toronto's one
That's
of the
tough.
most traffic heavy cities in the fucking world." But yeah, no, I a million times I've worked with obviously on set with my dad, and then a whole whack of other stunt people, and they're always getting dressed as fast as they fucking can. Some of them know Randy Butcher and get dressed so fast that they can shake his hand and say goodbye.
Yeah.
Some of them just don't know, but they want to be prepared, and they're just signing out, and then they're just standing there waiting. They literally wait, and I'm like, I can say it. If you're waiting for Randy, he's already home.
Yeah.
He's gone, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know
it's
what?
just-
You know what I love? Like, actually,
that's experience.
yeah, for sure, absolutely. Like, I have like when, and then it's like, oh, you want Randy back? Yeah, he's setting up more paperwork for another day because
Yeah,
like,
yeah,
you
he's
wrapped
gone.
him.
He's already gone.
That's genius. But it's amazing being so many years on set. It's like, and being in the army in terms of like working and the different dynamics. It's like I always wanted. I think every movie set needs some infantry sergeant or like warrant officer to be like the first AD. It's like, okay, next scene, we got 5 minutes. Are you going to be ready? No, 10 minutes. No, you got 5. Next, it's like,
Yeah.
there's so much time wasted on set. It's
The
incredible.
best first ADs are always the ones I hate the most,
Sure.
hands down.
Yeah.
But they're the best.
But they're the best.
They're the
It's
best.
like,
They get their day. They get everything done. They
some-
help move shit.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In Ireland, it was amazing working on Vikings because they would work for 12 hours and like the second 12 hours is done, gone. Everyone's,
Really?
yeah, you can't.
Why? Why?
Because
I
they
mean,
have
other than
they have a strict 12,
respect for people.
They have a strict 12 hours, but like it's an interesting 12 hours because it's like, okay, you're here for 12 hours, work, but the second 12 hours hits, everyone's gone. I remember like I remember seeing directors being like past 5 minutes and they would get like chastised and like fined to like, don't waste our time. Like you have this amount of time, and then but then the next day they're ready to go at like whatever, like say like 9 o'clock's your next day, they're ready to go. And they will work
I can imagine
their
that.
ass off for 12 hours, and the second the 12-hour hits, gone.
That's the way it should be.
The way it
Yeah,
should be.
I mean, as a stunt guy, I don't deal with those kind of hours. I do notice that a lot of grips or ADs or set builders, transport, there's all locations, there's all kinds of fucking people that come to set, and they're there before you,
Yeah.
and they're there after you, and then they're there before you again in the morning, and you're like, dude, I got 6 hours of sleep.
Yeah.
What the fuck were you doing, man? Yeah, see, he was sleeping in his truck.
There needs to be some people that just go around sets like, okay, I'm gonna watch you for 1 hour. If you're not doing anything productive, like,
Yeah, no shit. Yeah, no shit.
That's hilarious.
I think because they could wrap up some of these movies way quicker if they just start, pumping out like, okay, we're doing this scene next, let's do it. And it's like, let's get it done. It's like, oh, we need this, we need this, we need that. Like sometimes they spread it out too much because they want like more extra days. I don't know what it is.
I think
But
it's like I think it's just crushing shit as fast and hard as possible. It's like the American way is like, let's crush one so we can get in another.
Time is money, buddy.
It's like beers.
Time is money, but they extend that time
Movies
to make
in
that
America
money.
nowadays is like beers. Just crush one, let's crush another. Let's get a shot in.
Yeah.
Let's get another. Let's get a joint. Let's get as much as we can get in.
But sometimes they it boggles me. Maybe I don't know too much, but I see it. It's like we could get this shot done like 5 minutes ago. It's like what are we like spreading our time out for?
Yeah.
And like we're on like location. We got the set for like 2 days. Like let's get it done. Like we don't need the coffee break. We don't need this. Let's like pump it out.
There's so many aspects. I mean, yeah, when I'm on set, I like to get lunch. I don't even like to go to lunch.
Neither do I. I think lunches during summer days are useless, especially winter days, because you're going to get night very quickly.
But if you're a grip or you're somebody on set all
Somebody's
day,
just lifting and heavy stuff.
yeah, this is your home. This is your life.
Yeah, I get
your
it.
home life.
I get it.
You want that.
Just give a
lunch.
half-hour pay through that. Give everybody a sandwich and let's move
since
forward.
COVID, I do miss the hour lunch, because like I find since COVID the food went bad because now
well, there's that.
it's
Nobody's
always
catering.
cold.
Yeah.
Actually, the first time I had catered like actually buffet food was last week, and it was almost like, whoa, this is really weird. It's like,
It is
why
weird.
are we, and this is hot food. The first time I had hot food in a long time.
Wow.
Yeah, yeah, you're right, man. For a while there, like on MOK, they did constant rolling lunches,
Yeah.
which was honestly,
I don't
as a
mind
stunt
rolling
guy,
lunches,
I was all in.
Oh, me too. I eat and
you
move
know,
on.
Yeah,
Let's just eat and go.
Let's just keep going.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're just because at the end of the day, we're just filming a movie or we're just filming a show. It's this child's play.
There's been multiple times in the army where I'm like, I had to decide whether to sleep or eat. Where it's like, okay, I could eat for 15 minutes or I could take a nap for 15 minutes. And a lot of times I take the nap for 15 minutes. But it's like, let's just like eat whenever you can. Let's get this done and let's leave at a proper hour instead of wasting time on overtime.
Well, doesn't that mean
100%.
do you not become like a grip or a regular crew member in a time like that? Sort of when you're in the army. I mean, where you just kind of appreciate an hour of lunch.
Yeah, totally, for sure. Yeah. I mean, like, yeah, like, you even catch guys on set, and I get it. There's some guys that work, and really their job is only really at the beginning of the day and the end of the day, and like usually during filming, they don't have anything to do, and they could sleep. That's fine. It's like, and I would love to like take a nap throughout the day too. But like during that break, it's like, okay, great. I could shut off. I could like close my eyes, take a like a nap or recharge for the second half of the day. So the break
Time
is
is
nice.
precious.
The time is precious, but also there's sometimes it's like, okay, let's just eat whenever you can. Let's just get this done. Everyone's responsible, everyone could eat on their own time. They don't need to have this special grandioso break, to put their feet up. Because really, like, if you have someone watching, like, a lot of these people on set, it's like, okay, you're not doing anything. Like, I could replace you with,
For
like,
sure.
maybe a robot.
One of the things that I learned actually training with you guys specifically was looking for work.
Yeah.
This looking for work thing. You going in a room, you know, whatever.
Oh, looking for what you have to do.
Yeah. Looking for the next thing. If you're standing there doing nothing, you better be looking for work.
Yeah, exactly. Like, and that's what it is in the Army. It's like, when you, like, say, like, even on MOK, when you're coming in, someone else, your buddy beside you is doing a job. You have to do everything else to help him. So if he's taking care of this sector, you're taking care of that. And it's just a mutual respect between the two, and a mutual understanding. Because, like, whatever's behind me, I trust my buddy to protect me from behind, and vice versa, and things like that. And once that all comes together, that's when, like, a whole team works proper, right?
Well, can we rewind for a second and just
sure.
sort of explain this a little bit more? Only because nobody has this idea. And the thing is, for me, although I don't necessarily consider myself like a real lazy guy, I get into something and I really try to fight to perfect this, whatever it is. But looking for work made me feel like even in my daily sitting around on my ass was wrong. Okay.
Sure.
So for real, when you guys use the term looking for work,
Yeah.
I legitimately used that, or I was reminded of it in my own regular fucking fat ass life, where I just sitting around doing nothing,
Yeah.
and I felt like I gotta look for work,
Yeah. Sure.
or what's the point?
Yeah. And I think too is, like, people understand, like, looking for work in your term is like clearing, when you're getting into an area and someone's protecting.
I don't
want
want to be wasteful.
You don't want to be wasteful. You want to be, okay, this guy's doing that job, I could do this job, so he could do that job even better. And I think we lose that a lot, and guys only get that when they have that training, or in their they do a job that has a type of mutual respect between, like, team members, right? Like, and that's even adamant in the stunt world, even in the Army world, even in the police world. Like, you're doing one job and the guy beside you is doing another job to make your job even easier, and you gotta, like, have that mutual understanding of, the guy behind you has your back, guy in front of you has your back. This is how you're gonna feel comfortable in those scenarios. Yeah.
Yeah, and certainly even in the stunt world, if you're, you could be the one of two stunt guys working that day, or you could be one of 20.
Right.
But if the stunt coordinator, if it's near wrap time and some mats could get put away, you want to be the guy that jumped at taking those mats to the truck for whatever reason, and often it's just it's like the looking for work thing. It's like you're like, I don't want to be, what's the word? I just don't want to be. I don't want to feel useless for 1 second,
Right?
Because my job is to fucking go, and to be part of the team and blah blah blah. And when you're the guy who missed the mats, you're like, oh fuck. And you actually sit there going, oh, well, I need work.
Yeah.
I need work just to look a certain way, or whatever it might be.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
You gotta, you gotta keep busy. I mean, there's times on set where you can definitely relax and,
Of course.
and take it easy. But there's always that extra that you could put in, and that's gonna make the difference on camera for sure.
Sure.
If you don't, like, make it into a team, like, everything you do is, like, there's so many few jobs in the world that's individual based, and, like, I learned that a long time ago in the military. It's like anything we do, we're in a team. Like, you're not alone. You're never alone. You need to trust the guy beside you. The guy needs to trust the guy beside him. And you need to do things as a team, because you're never going to accomplish anything unless you trust the guy beside you at 100%, right?
Can I ask what your team made up of?
Like, what do you mean?
Like, you said you were a machine gunner.
Yeah, so, like, Afghanistan, I was a corporal. Like right now, I'm a warrant officer. So, like, now
So what's a warrant officer?
Warrant officer is above a sergeant in the Canadian military, and a warrant, like, my position. Specifically right now is I'm a platoon warrant, so I control. I'm the second in command of a platoon. So a captain or a lieutenant runs a platoon, and I'm his second in command. So the officer runs all the tactics, and I run all the the personnel, weapons, equipment, and all that. And the warrant officer is always usually more experienced than the officer itself. So I also have the job as a consultant to the officer. So the officer makes a decision, just like a director makes a decision. And I guess in your world, think of me as the first AD. The director controls the show. The first AD runs all the movement around, and that's what a warrant officer does in a platoon. In my regiment, I'm fortunate enough right now is I'm the platoon warrant of the paratrooper platoon of the Queensland Rifles. That's my regiment, the Queensland Rifles of Canada, based in Toronto. And my job is working with the para platoon, the para company, or the para guys, all the guys that are paratroopers in my regiment. And we train in all paratrooper aspect, jumping into exercises, preparing to. We try to jump every almost 2 months to keep current into our job, because just like in anything, like we talked about in Peace Prepared, we're training jumping out of airplanes to potentially at one day, if our country needs us to jump into war to capture an airfield or capture a military outpost or whatever, we're ready to go at any time, right? And that's the whole aspect of in Peace Prepared. We need to keep going into our training in times that we're not being attacked, we're not being, but we have to be ready for that, right? It's like the notion of everyone always every time I see people talk about Canadians, they're like, oh, Canadians are great peacekeepers. It's not we're not trained ever to be peacekeepers. In none of my training, in all my years, have I been trained to become a peacekeeper. I've been trained as an infantryman, a rifleman, a fighter. In our job description is close with and destroy the enemy in any weather condition or terrain. That's our job to the nth degree. We're not there to become to get peace. You need war fighters, right? And we're not trained, but when we do peacekeeping missions, you're sending war fighters in there to keep the peace. Those are the guys that could if you need to turn it on, we could turn it on. But we're never trained to keep peace. The only time we really keep peace is when we send badass Canadian dudes to keep the peace. That's where you get the peacekeeping aspect of it. Sure, we're known to do peacekeeping missions back in the 90s and things like that, and that's great. We're absolutely we could take that on. But they're not sending peacekeepers to do that. They're sending infantry guys to maintain peace. Those are war fighters that are ready to go. And so we're never training to be this peaceful thing. We're ready to fight at any time.
I love that.
Yeah.
I'm proud that thanks for saying that. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now, okay, I got one more little thing.
Yeah, man.
No, just can I say my little thing first?
Yeah, of course.
Thank you personally for that picture over your left shoulder.
Oh, that one, yeah.
Oh, yeah, man.
From Mayor of Kingstown, you had all of Robert's team plus Hamish signed that for me.
Yeah.
Made me cry.
That's amazing.
We rapped. Thank you.
Yeah, you're so welcome for that.
He only
man.
cried for a few days, though.
But all the respect to you, Randy. It's you picked the team, you picked the guys. It was all your show. It was all your sort of decision, and then you let us do our thing. You let us and I've seen stunt coordinators be like, you know what, you don't know gun stuff. You're gonna do it my way. It's that's fine, cool. This is your show. But you did the opposite. It's you are the gun expert. You guys know how to do this. Do it. And then we will figure out the stunt afterwards, and then it made it all better. And it's
that's someone who's confident in what they're doing.
Well,
yeah, for sure.
Thank you for that.
Yeah.
That's
amazing.
That's huge for me.
Yeah, it was a great time. I mean, the relationships we had on that set is just incredible.
And they continue.
I don't know. I think I'm not sure if I said this to Sean or not, actually, but whatever. I do believe I've been on set with 1 million stunt guys before, but this is 1 million stunt guys that are just glad they got the job.
Yeah.
Glad they were there. Okay, it's cool that you're here and we get to say hey, but if it was just gonna be one of us, glad it's me. Whatever, that's the way. And I love, hey man, I love the stunt guys and the camaraderie that may come with it. Except the moment I started training with you guys on MOK, it was a gift from my dad to help me get on this team, and then it was a gift to be trained by you. And then even further, it was a gift that somebody like Gordy, Floody, or Shawnee was on the team to add tips and tricks and all the other shit from their own singular perspectives. It's fucking brilliant and beautiful. But the best part about the entire thing is that the show has wrapped and we're still brothers.
Yeah, totally.
Today.
Totally.
The camaraderie and the fucking integrity and respect and just everything that comes with being a team, being a cop, a cop at this level, and military at this level, and buddy, it is one of the coolest things in the whole world, and I'm stoked still to this day.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun.
About that picture and knowing all you guys and being a part of this, and that you're here today with him, the whole thing.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun.
Fucking awesome.
It was a lot of fun, man. It was a lot of fun.
It really is.
In any team you do, like you always do these small stunts, or like in any small stints with teams here and there. No matter like stunt teams, SWAT teams, military teams, and you have this like sort of little like history with them, and that will always stay with them. Like some of the guys that I've served, whether in my regiment or guys I've served overseas or guys that I've served on military courses, like those are like some of the closest friends that you could ever have. And it's like you've been to war and back with them. And it's like a lifelong aspect. I'm surprised, like after that show, we didn't all get tattoos. Like,
dude, me too.
Let's not count that out.
Me too, man.
It's still happening.
Yeah.
It's still happening. Yeah.
Yeah, man, I'm ready.
Hey, so let's design a tattoo and let all the boys.
Yeah. Oh, we could.
There's the tattoo right there.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
That's the patch you made.
Yo,
patch,
legit,
yeah.
man. Yo,
That's right. It's cool. Actually, it's yeah. Designing that patch and actually having Taylor Sheridan give like the okay was actually pretty cool.
So good.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you, if I didn't work in front of the camera, I'd get that tattoo right here over my heart because that's how much I loved it. But because I work in front of the camera, I'm gonna have to get it on my dick.
Yeah, that's
So-
fine. That's fine. Or your ass. Your ass. You're never gonna
Well,
have
that's
your
true.
ass on set on your camera.
well,
But
I'm
there's
not
still
going with
more
the ass.
likely ass than there is.
That's true.
Yeah, just
Hey,
saying.
listen.
Do you have a
Okay. Well, hold on. Okay, number one, you got to sign the table.
Okay.
Everyone signs the
Yeah,
table.
we gotta sign off.
Sign the
Sign the
table.
table.
sign the table?
But I just wanted to ask real quickly some movie things.
Yeah, man.
Number one, when
Just gonna go
someone
big
get
and
one
then
song,
office.
this is more for people. Way to take up 3/4 of the table.
Absolutely.
Take a picture of the signature.
Yeah. Now keep going. Do what you're doing. Oh man, I love it. It's great.
Yeah. Thanks, Alan.
That's great, man. But no, just before we shut her down, when someone gets shot in real life, do they blow back? Do they
No.
fucking blow?
Oh
off their
my
feet?
god! Like that's the one thing I fight with every stunt coordinator ever. It's like every time they get shot, there's always like the scene with a wire getting pulled back, and it's like, boys, like I'll show you videos of a guy getting really shot. Like
Speaking, yeah, he doesn't like wire work.
wire work's the worst.
As a stunt guy, I mean, as a coordinator, I
You're right.
imagine you do wire work when
No,
you
but
have
I
to.
don't like it.
Yeah, but he doesn't like it because of the lack of realism, right?
Yeah,
So
or
anyway,
someone gets
sorry.
shot and then just jumps
No, I don't
back
like jerks.
behind a glass and flies 6 feet from like a pistol. Like it's just insane.
Yeah, right.
insane.
So at what point would someone get blown back off their feet? What
Like
what are they
either
using?
like some sort of crazy like shotgun or like a cannon
RPG?
RPG, sure. But like when a rifle or a bullet goes through you, it'll rip right through you, your skin and bones. Like you think of like what stops a bullet, right? Bulletproof armor, steel plates, that stops a bullet. If it goes through a human flesh, it just rips right through, like in and out, no question asked. And if it actually kills the person, they just shut down.
It actually kills the person.
Just shut down. Like, brrr. I always I try to tell people, like, remember those like toys as a kid, like when you press it, it just like drops like, bleh. Like
those like they push the button.
Push the button and they just collapse. That's how a real body like goes. It doesn't get blown by some crazy wire. You know, it's like you never seen that in real life. So I don't know where that wire came from. I think it's just this grandioso like movement. And you know, I remember working with one stunt team from Asia, and we showed an actor a really cool move, like a really cool gun move that he would only learn from a military guy, and he loved it. He used it in the film, but the stunt team hated it. Like they're like, don't you dare train an actor to do that. It's like, that's our job. I go, but you guys don't know that job. You guys know how to do like some crazy flips with some wire work and like jump 15 feet in the air. But like, and the actor asked us, like, just let it happen. Like I think some people like get worried about like their job in the movie industry but like, okay, we do guns. Let the gun guys like have a word, and we'll let you do your thing. But like, once you add realism to it and realism, it looks better. It always looks better. When you add these like fantasy stuff, it's like I think people get pulled out of it way too much.
Yeah,
and we forget about that in the movie world.
But people use movies as like as their documentary.
Yeah,
or as like something to tell them what's real. What's
yeah, exactly.
Well, I saw it in Saving Private Ryan, so
well, we could do it. Yeah.
So when an explosion happens.
Yeah, when an explosion happens and people walk away, like all calm, like
the
cool
that.
guy in explosions. Yeah,
yeah, there's that.
I think it was like the scene of the other guys where like an explosion happens. They're like, oh my god, this is the worst. My ears, it's ringing. It's not like the movies. Yeah, that's exactly how it is in real life.
How is it that comedy handles it more authentically? Yeah,
exactly. It's weird. It's weird like that.
All right, yeah.
That's the film. That's how they do things.
Well,
yeah.
What do you say,
Adam?
Where are we at?
Thanks for coming, Adam.
Thanks for having me.
2:45, I think, something like that.
It's a blast.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Right. I'll come again. There's more stories. I mean, there's more times.
Love it, man. Yeah. Obviously, you're so fucking interesting, dude. All the things that you do and the experiences you've had.
And next time, I'll take you skydiving, and then we'll do another show talking about your experience.
That'd be sweet.
And I'll just sit here and listen to you guys.
You come, bring the beer and barbecue.
And a camera, and I'll shoot it.
Perfect. We'll do it. Done. We got to do it this summer, though. Do it this summer.
Yeah, I really want to.
Yeah.
I want to.
You got to do it.
Let's just
no.
fucking do
it's not that you want to. You're doing it.
Okay.
Just
doing
do
it
it with him.
Doing it. I know. All right, we're doing it.
Oh, they're shaking
there it
hands,
is,
folks.
It's there.
You're coming back soon then.
Yeah.
All right.
We'll do it.
Done. I really can't wait. I want to skydive. Okay. Fucking doing it. All right.
Yeah, we agreed. It's happening.
Adam Winnick, ladies and gentlemen.
Yes.
Thanks, guys.
Yes, sir. Thank you so much for doing the podcast.
I appreciate it. Thanks for coming.
Yeah, man. This was going again.
Yeah, you guys are doing something awesome here. I think it's nice to, you guys have that different aspect of the different side of the movie industry, especially like you're not hearing the actor's perspective. You're hearing like the down and dirty. So it's cool. Yeah,
Thank you.
You guys
man.
are good. New
We're having fun.
And the logo is the best.
Oh,
fucking A.
Love it. Yeah. Love it.
Yeah, man. It's really weird, though, because they gave him nothing on the chin and a little mustache, and they gave me a full mustache, gray with a long beard.
Well, yeah, seeing as your
sense.
baby bush, you need to have the
That's true.
the full mustache.
That's true. All right, man.
Good. Thanks for having me.
Thank you so much.
Cheers.
Cheers, brother.
Love you. Good night.
Later. Good night.
Cut, Deanna.
Boom, boom.